had 2 games now away from home. His 2 starts, haven't they? I think back here at the Stadium of Light, he'll want to have a run out in his favoured position out on this left-hand side. I think, as you said, Chris, at the weekend, I thought both him and Mienda were pretty good in the first half. They had some good moments in the game. Second half, we didn't see enough of them, but the fact that we didn't have a lot of the ball in their half, did we, at Milwall in that second half? So, be an interesting one tonight. I think we will have a lot more of the ball, certainly in the first half. We'll have to see how we go and set up in the second half and not sit back as much as we have done.
Okay, Chris, thank you very much.
How are you doing? Cheers, Gordon, for the line-up there. My 3 changes who? Job and Roberts return for Alessi, Mienda and Connolly. Yes, how are you doing, everybody? Hope you're well. If you didn't catch the show last night, the MACKEM, CABBIE and Davey show with Martin Smith, watch it. It's a great view. Top bloke, Martin Smith, spot on. So yeah, the team news, we've got Patterson, Hume, MACKEM, Ballard on 9, Neil, of course, captain. We've got Rigg, Job, Roberts, Watson, Isidore, and the subs are Muir, Hajeldi, Johnson, Alessi, Alesic, Ashish, Rusin, Mienda and Connolly. 3 changes. Yep, Gordon says, evening Stuart, I am good. Hope you have a less stressful stream this evening. Hey, it was absolutely spot on. It was, once we got the hang of it, it was alright. So what is the odds tonight that Madger's going to score? Dear me. What is the odds? I hope he doesn't, of course, but it's almost certain, isn't it? Madger. Games are coming thick and fast. We're on Friday night again. And that's why I think it's important if we can get 3 points tonight, because the simple fact, we've got a bit of a difficult game, haven't we, against Sheffield United on Friday. And yes, I am just wiping my glasses in case you're wondering what I'm doing. There's nothing rude. Dirty boy. Oh, busy day at work. I didn't get in till about 20 minutes ago. So I'm going to have a little browse on social media just to see what the general feel is of the team news, especially. I want to see what the fans are saying. There's always having a bit of a binge and a whinge. So here we go. Let's see what folk are saying. Is this right? It says, just been reading that Patterson's injured in training. Don't think so, because he's on the pitch warming up. Derek says, strong team tonight. Fingers crossed we get the right result. John Monroe says, winning team there. That's positive, isn't it? James Hughes says, Alessi injured again. He played well the weekend. Should have started him. You know, there's a lot of people saying Alessi should have started. Martin Cutler, Watson very lucky to still be starting. Doesn't look up to it yet. He doesn't look up to it, the fact to play the full 90 minutes, no. But I think he's an amazing prospect, and I think he's a great player to come on, say, for the last 20 minutes. Dave Wheelock says, I'm sorry, but there's much better players on the bench than Watson. Playing him is a big mistake. Is that harsh? I don't know. Doug reckons it's harsh on Mienda. and Alessi are both not starting. And Doug replies, he says, yeah, but they've been out for a while, injured, and both played the full 90 on Saturday. Madness starting them 3 days later, of course. Yeah, it's not too negative, I suppose. There's quite a lot of people saying about not keen on Watson starting fully, but are you up? Is it the manager? Is the manager?
Hang on a second, Arthur. I'm going to do the decent thing and let Ando go.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Well, you know, he's
in full flow.
I've still got some.
I think he should have stayed.
I've got some messages left over, Ando, for you for tomorrow, though. Don't worry about that.
Nice one. Nice one.
Enjoy your evening, John.
Stay well wrapped up, son.
Okay.
Cheers, pal.
He's got his heater on, don't it?
I'll go for 2-1 win. It's becoming must-win games now after dropping at 8 points. It is. Gordon, it's an absolute must.
Ando, thank you very much indeed.
Especially the fact that we've got Sheffield United Friday, which isn't going to be as easy, is it?
The floor is yours now.
Right, Gary.
Yes,
I
Arthur.
hope he doesn't do what he done on Saturday. Is when we get to the front, is sit back and just excuse me, invite them on.
Right.
On Saturday when we played Milwall, first half they were terrified of young Watson. They were terrified of him. And the second half, well, he just wasn't at the races, really, was he?
Well, I know that I've heard that a few times when people start saying that we've been sitting back. And I think, you know, you can look at the Coventry game. You know, you've got to give credit to Coventry. You've got, especially when you're losing the game, you've got nothing to lose. So, you know, you look at the game on Saturday against Milwall. You know, they brought another striker on, and all of a sudden, you know, they were a little bit more direct. They got the ball forward, and we had to defend. You know, disappointing to concede the goal late on, but you know, sometimes that happens in games. I don't think it's a case of sitting back.
Well, I think it is, Gary. I think he just, instead of going no for kill them off and then sit back,
just listening to that caller, like, he's right.
I'm not going to criticise the lad because he's done a fantastic job, like.
Yeah.
Got to stop playing defensive.
Yeah,
Stop this defensive crap, like. D Hall, evening, chaps and lasses. 3-1 to the lads.
I want the bragging rights, man. I wanted us to win. I was disappointed. Don't worry about that.
Arthur,
anyway,
go on.
Tonight, I was on early on, and I predicted well. I think we'll beat these well tonight, like.
Oh, okay.
Got a little good feeling that we'll beat these about 3-1.
3-1. Okay, well, West Brom haven't lost by more than a goal all season. They haven't lost many at all.
Do you know, it makes me laugh, doesn't it, when we go on about past results and things like that. And it's really got nothing to do with how you're performing on the night, has it? But we always do it.
After the game, Arthur, we're on air till 10:30, so I might talk to you again later. Thanks very much indeed for coming on this evening. Just on the debate of who plays at left back, who plays at right back, Kev says has to be 09.
So don't forget, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, thank you.
We've got 2 players instead of 1 playing out of position.
I'd be mad if I could get to 4,000 subscribers before Christmas, but there's a long way to go. 3,279 subscribers at the minute.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I think, first of all, everyone is thinking, is he going to play centre-back, Luke 09? Was Ballard going to be missing out? You know, you look at Alessi, who played at the weekend. I thought he was tremendous.
Yes.
I think the problem he may have is that he most probably won't be able to handle playing 2 games in such a short period of time.
But he might come into contention again, of course.
And another player who's on the bench to date is the Yelda, who was not involved.
So he's
at the weekend.
You
know,
hello, Mike Cassup. Says hi, Stu. I'm trying to get the radio station you're listening to. Is it Radio Newcastle?
He could have played at left back tonight.
He could have played at left back, which, you know, you think that gives.
Well, yeah, I'm actually getting the stream because I'm paying Sunderland FC for the audio pass.
There were lots of decisions for
but I think it's linked to Radio Newcastle.
He might play 3. He might play 3 centre backs.
He won't do that.
I don't know whether that's
we'll see. Benno
online. Like, I don't know. Are you local, Mike? If you're living in Sunderland, then you should be able to listen to the commentary, either with the watch along on here or just tuning in. If you've got a digital radio and stuff.
Oh no! I've got to miss my bus.
You won't miss your bus. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You've got a pass anyway, bus pass anyway.
I have indeed. Yeah. What are you trying to say?
So Benno here for the duration of the evening now. Kickoff is just over 20 minutes away. Barnsley and Benno will take you up to kickoff next.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
Last week we told you how non-league football club Westerlo Celtic was facing closure after 96 years. But after being on the show last week...
I'm not too sure about that. I don't know if you pay SAFC an audio pass. I think you can listen to it globally, the commentary, or just tune here, and you'll have the commentary on here with me having the crack on, bit of watch along. So you should be able to listen to the watch along, no bother here, mate. You're more than welcome. Just hope we do get a good performance tonight. Like I said, I didn't want a second half performance. No, thank you. And Isidore's been sort of... I'd like to see him get a couple of goals, to be honest with you. I'd like to see him go firing tonight, like.
Position, so one assumes that is going to be the way they line up.
It is, yeah.
O'Nien on the right and Hume.
Yeah, so I've got the commentary on at the minute just because of the fact there's music getting played in the background. Patterson and goal though. O'Nien right back. Mallow, Benham and Hume. Neil, Job, Roberts, Rig, Watson and Isidore. There's a starting 11 of course. On the bench you've got Moore, Mienda, Rusin, O'Sheesh, Alesic, Connolly, Hielde, Johnson and Elise. West Bromwich Albion, of course, the one change, they drew 2-2 at the weekend, home to Norwich. But Donald Furlong's suspended the right back. Its first game he's missed in 2 years. And Mason Holgate will move across to the right-hand side. Mason Holgate was on loan, of course, from Everton. Alex Palmer in goal. Holgate at right back. In comes the Malian Ousmane Diakite alongside John Hegem, a Norwegian centre-back. And then familiar name at left back for West Bromwich Albion tonight is Callum Styles, who signed in the summer for Barnsley, of course, who was on loan at Sunderland, of course, last season. Midfielder Tom Fellows and Alex and Tom Fellows just likes to bomb down the wing, of course, and just an old-fashioned winger for West Brom. We've got to keep an eye on him. We've got to keep an eye on him. Carlin Grant, Jameson Malumbi, Mikey Johnson, signed from Celtic in the summer, and no stranger up front, Josh Modja up front, of course, for West Bromwich Albion tonight. It's an extraordinary record this season, of course, Josh Modja. The last 8, should I say, they've drawn 7 West Brom of those 8 games, which is quite extraordinary, really. It is quite a run of draws, and I thought it was bad enough for us. It must be catching on, yeah, absolutely. But we need to turn that into a win tonight, hopefully. That's the thing, isn't it? Because they've drawn a lot of games, West Brom. Is it going to be a guaranteed banker that's going to be a draw tonight? It's just going to be so interesting, isn't it? The fact, like, we've got Job back. Job is back. So that is hopefully going to make a huge difference tonight. And that's what I'm hoping for, of course. That's what we're all hoping for, isn't it, really? Mike Cassip says the lineup looks good, however I'm not sure about Watson yet. There's a few fans thinking the same as well. Up until about 3 years ago, Match on Radio Newcastle was free. Watson only 18, but he can play and score. He can do. But I'm still in the process. I'm still going to be contacting Radio Newcastle to find out where I stand with having the commentary on in the background. I've been that busy, but I will get there. I will contact them and I'll find out what the crack is on that one. He's only 18. We're just looking back over the Milwall game now, and Ilesic missed that chance at one end and they went and scored at the other. But it was a sloppy goal we conceded, wasn't it? It was a sloppy goal. You can't argue with that one. But this is what happens though when you're playing in quality leagues. You didn't put your chances away, you get punished. Keep saying it every week, week in, week out. You get punished if you don't put your chances away. But Milwall got up the field though, didn't they? When we got caught out. We got caught out well and truly. And they were free at the far post and just tapped it in, didn't they? Oh, has my heater gone off in here? Let's have a look. No, still on. But yeah, they're just saying, like, even if 09 made a foul, brought the player down, got a free kick or whatever, we probably would have won the game. Oh. It's going to be a chilly one tonight, folks. Cheers for the 9 likes so far. Good evening, Fernie. How are you doing, mate? It's this evening, Stu, and all no pressure, guys. We'll soon seen. You did a cracking job against Swansea City, mind, but it's never easy, is it? I'm sure we'll make Sunderland will do their utmost right to create anxiety for the Sunderland fans. But Leeds United are looking good, mind. I did put them for, you know, strong contenders for Championship. Like they look a unit. They look a proper unit. So Gabby Hoyle, hello, says evening, Cabby. What do you make of Carlton Palmer's comments about him pushing Chrissy Rigg to go up the road for 30 million? The bloke needs it to put out. Freaking hell. Look, at the end of the day, it's up to Riggy boy, isn't it? I mean, there's anybody that knows where to go and where he wants to go, and it's Rigg. It's Rigg himself. Do you know what I mean? So I'm sure he doesn't need pushed. I'm sure he's getting guided by his agent and himself. He'll know what to do. Players make their own mind up pretty quick, don't they? Yeah, I'm lucky, but we'll take it. I don't think there was really any luck in that, to be honest with you, Fernie. I just thought you did what a decent team that's looking for promotion does. How many teams would have let their heads go down when Swansea equalised? 40 seconds later, Leeds went up with their end and scored. That's what you do. See, I can't imagine Sunderland doing that. When they equalised 2-2, the way they went up and scored the other end. But this is what you do, though. You grind out these results if you want them to get up. Who listens to Carlton Palmer? That's a good point, I suppose, isn't it? Got 40 people coming in now. I don't know if there'll be many people in the room tonight because it is on Sky as well. So we are just like 12 minutes away from kick-off at the minute. Fernie says you guys can finish, we can't. We've struggled, mate, Fernie. It's with our players out and stuff. We have quite struggled because our midfield's been so so weak, especially without Job. Our strikers have been pretty much isolated. So we started off well scoring goals, but they've seemed to have, like, you know, dried up. That 0-0 against QPR, 0-0 against Preston. Got 2 good goals against QPR. Sorry, against Coventry. But then we only got the 1 goal against Milwall. Gary says, my thoughts exactly, Cabby, but why get involved? Yeah. So here's the lineup again. We've got Patterson in goal. We've got Ballard, MACKEM, Hume on 9 in midfield. We've got left midfield Job, Neil centre midfield, Rig on the right. On the right wing up front we've got Roberts. On the left wing up front we've got Watson, and up front himself we've got the man Isidore. Wilson Isidore. Can he get a couple of goals or so tonight? Got the sprinklers on at the stadium tonight. I'm not expecting a massive crowd at the stadium like tonight. I'm thinking more along 39, 38, 39. Tuesday's a funny game. People finishing work, they've got to travel a long way to get to the stadium. Some of them do, because a lot don't live in Sunderland to go into the games, remember that. Plus it's on Sky as well. Michael Atkinson, hello Michael, you alright fella? This should have been an opportunity for Benetti and Roberts, and Mundle were out. There must be something the Breeze sees that he doesn't rate. Well, that's what I'm saying. We've got to just put our faith in what Regis LeBreeze saying and what he's doing. What else can we do? Gary Hoyle, hopefully our blip is over 2-0 tonight. I'll take that. And it's not a bad blip, is it, if we've only been drawn games? Fernie says, did you prefer the old style football with Niall Quinn or the new style football, left, right, pass back? Football changes, doesn't it? Every decade, it gets faster and faster. I mean, I definitely preferred the old style of football. I mean, crikey, we had the best partnership in the Premier League for 2 years running with Niall Quinn and Phillips. It just went together like peas and carrots, and I just think every season it changes the way you play depending on the type of players that you do have up front. You know, Quinny was great up in the air for his head, tall fella. I'm not a fan of the modern style of football, tippy tappy, trying to walk the ball into the net. I'm not a fan of that. Ryan Rudkin, Sunderland 2. So we're going to see him score 2 goals tonight. And of course there'll be the light show tonight at the stadium, right? So you can expect the foghorn or the lighthouse to go off at some point. I don't think it's going to be a cold night at the stadium light tonight. Not as cold as what it has been, put it that way. Let's have a listen to what Regis LeBreeze's been saying.
Of the game, but 2 different scenarios, I think. At Milwall, before the game, maybe we couldn't expect that level of the team because of many changes. And finally, we played the first half very well, and probably we deserved to score another goal. And the 2 15-minute breaks, I think, allowed to Milwall to refocus on their strength. And when they were back and during the second half, they were good in their style of play, and they played more direct with efficiency, I think. We were good in the first contact, more often good for the second ball, but after it was like a counter-attack game, second ball game and a counter-attack game, and probably we struggled to manage that situation properly. If we have scored at that moment, the game was finished, I think, but we didn't. And the the equalizer was like a summary of that statement. We had the situation to score, game is finished, we didn't score, counter-attack, and finally it's an equalizer. So it's a new experience for us, and for the depth of the squad, I think it's very positive experience. But for the management of the game, it's still not, but you have to live many different positive and negative experience to learn, and it should be a good one for us.
And talking of experiences, I mean, it was exceptional at the weekend. I don't think any of us have ever experienced a break as long as half an hour with 2 medical emergencies at the same time.
Yeah.
But that can't have been easy for both you and Neil Harris to manage, because I think the momentum was with you in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were 1-0 up, 5 minutes till half time. Yeah. The referee did come across and speak to you both. I mean, what did he say to you at that time?
We didn't have any choices, because the rule is the rule. So probably we could add 5 minutes at the end of the second half. It should be better, but probably because of the momentum, this period was much better for them, because they had the possibility to refocus on their strength, and we were dominant. And Milwall is a good team at home. Really, they beat Burnley, they beat Leeds as well. So we dominated the first half with only 1 goal. The game is still balanced, and
1-0 up already.
It was a good opportunity
so
for them.
They're already,
for us, we were ready to
in the driving
to
seat.
manage this direct play, and I think we were good. But
did you find out what was coming from Newcastle?
This
it's
is
fine
a
to
really
have
particular situation,
over it, I think.
and when we are young, as we are as a team,
I will get in contact with them.
We have the positive part of a young team, energetic, the willingness to attack, fast attack, and so on. But when we have to manage this particular scenario, probably with experience, fast attack are not always useful, and probably we cleared many balls without too big pressure, and we lost probably 10 or 15 balls during the second half that we could manage properly, probably. Yeah.
And with Wilson up front and Aaron just behind him, do you think you found that that's their best 2 positions? But it also begs the question, now you've got Joe to come back and Connolly playing in that position further forward, Rigger's been playing, it's leaving you questions, isn't it?
Good questions. And because of this long sequences of games, it's a good question. If we can have versatile player, many options available, you can look at your bench and say, oh, I'm comfortable to use that option because we used it before and it was good. It's good for the coach, and I think now the players are comfortable with that idea as well, because they know if we want to achieve our goal to be in that top 6 at the end of the season, we need to be a strong team, but not only 11, 16, 17, so we need competition in every position. We need versatility, we need different options, and the choice of the coach is to, and the staff is to select the right starting 11 to start the game against West Brom, against Milwall, against Sheffield, and we know that it's for that game, and everyone is confident to be in that team, and when you are on the bench, you know that it's useful for the team, and you have your opportunities later.
Little Duella, right?
Total Sport Northeast.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
So Sunderland just stripping off their tracksuit tops at the minute. They're red and white tops and black shorts, red and white socks. West Brom in their away strip, which is a yellow shirt with a thin blue stripe, dark blue shorts and dark blue socks. So we're nearly there. So Sheffield United are in front already. It looks like they've already got their win, doesn't it? I can't see them getting anything else other than a win, to be honest with you. But like I say, I do have to talk over the match commentary as well. I did 100% commentary myself on Saturday because it was like the 3 o'clock blackout, so I'd be doubly careful there. Keep Josh Madger quiet. Oof. We'll soon find out. He's Job like warming up on the pitch. Rushing, but I can't. Tony Hunting says we keep saying we must attack. The biggest problem is game management. Too many knackered players wasted energy on the last attack, then couldn't get back when they didn't.
Placard saying show racism, the red card.
Yeah.
I know you've been at an event tonight, you've been talking about that, as have some of the players and former players here today. Very important too, and I saw Patterson warming up in a red t-shirt with show racism, the red card. Sunderland about to get into a huddle. Dan Neil coming back from the centre spot. Sheffield United have already taken the lead against Oxford. That's a 7:45 kickoff. Sheffield United 1, Oxford 0. The other team at the top there, Burnley, they are playing Coventry. It is 0-0, and it'll be West Bromwich Albion that starts the game here this evening, defending the Roker end. They've made the change in the warm-up because an injury to Ousmane Diakite means that Kyle Bartley, the 33-year-old, very experienced centre-back, comes back in after a long injury. Palmer in goal, Holgate at right back on loan from Everton, Bartley, Hegum, a Norwegian, Callum Stiles at left back, Fellows, Mowat, Grant, Malumbi, Johnston, and of course Josh Madger up front for West Bromwich Albion. Bobby Madley's the referee, all in black. He was refereeing Sunderland not that long ago at Hull, of course. Sunderland winning 1-0 that day. I don't think he had a particularly auspicious game, but there you go. He's in charge tonight. There's the ball back here with Bartley, who's got his left hand in a bandage, I think. Yeah, it looks like his left wrist is bandaged. The ball back to Alex Palmer, the keeper, in turquoise, sea green if you like, and he plays the ball to the left to Hegum, the Norwegian. Back to Bartley, pushed out into midfield to Malumbi, out on the right then to Holgate, who pushes it up to the halfway line, looking for Carlin Grant, and so here is Job winning, or not winning a throw-in, conceding a throw-in for West Bromwich Albion on the right on halfway. So 0-0 in these opening stages of the game, and Malumbi plays it back to Palmer, the goalkeeper, closed down by Isidore, but he kicks clear, and now Roberts on the right lays it back off to O'Nien on this right hand side, back to Mepham, and Mepham forwards to Neil. Neil leaves it for Mepham and out to Roberts. Roberts back, it's Madger looking to intercept here, and he gets a foot on it, pushing the ball out in front of Regis Lebris for a throw to Sunderland on the right, which is quickly taken by Luke O'Nien, dropped to Roberts down the touchline and back. Ooh, again, Madger just trying to get a toe on the end of the ball being played back. It's got back to Patterson, but they've got players all around in the Sunderland penalty area. 3 West Brom players in the penalty area as they tried to put the pressure on Sunderland, but Sunderland played it out. Hume has played it across to O'Nien. Hume have gone into the middle, and now Roberts right with O'Nien in front of Carlos Corberan. Back again to Mepham, across to Ballard, and Hume now back out wide on the left. Plays it inside to Dan Neil on the halfway line.
See if White seats
back to Mepham, and here to Roberts. And Roberts now, Carlos Corberan is quite energetic at the edge of his technical area. The ball's played down the touchline to O'Nien and Roberts. They're trying to 1-2 between them. Roberts now just pauses for a brief moment, then looks to take it inside to Dan Neil in the middle, but it slips off him, and Malumbi's going to win it back off Neil, who fouls Jason Malumbi, the Republic of Ireland international, and it's a free kick to West Bromwich Albion. Norwich 2, Plymouth 0 early on in the games that kicked off a quarter of an hour or so ago. We're into the 3rd minute here at the Stadium of Light, 0-0. We're live on BBC Radio Newcastle. We're on till 10:30 tonight, so Benno will take your calls, and then he's going for the last bus home. And so we'll remind you of the numbers a little bit later.
Good evening, James B. How are you doing, mate?
So
you all right?
Here at the back, Bartley laying it off again to Chorben Hegum. and I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the team he was signed from in Norway. It's got about 13 letters, and it's clearly Norwegian or Swedish, and I don't know how to pronounce it. Here he is again, 25 years old, and he's 6'6", as he got the ball back off Callum Styles, is pushed into midfield here, trying to win it back, but Neil puts it out for a throw to West Bromwich Albion down this left-hand side, and Callum Styles, 23 caps for Hungary now, the Yorkshireman, throws it back to Hegem, who's wide on the left here, deep in the West Bromwich Albion half, and they're in no hurry to get it forwards.
Yeah, James.
And
all good tonight.
Carlos Corberán is now crouched down in his technical area.
Looty too.
He's very animated.
He is very animated.
He's always like that.
He's on the go the whole time, isn't he? If he's not moving, he's shouting.
Welcome.
And often he's doing both. As Watson, the ball just swept past him on the halfway line, comes back to Carl Bartley, plays it forwards on the right.
Hello, Des, are you all right, mate?
Back inside now to Alex Mowat. Mowat back out wide on that far side to Carlin Grant, I think it was. It's come back now to Bartley, and West Bromwich Albion more than happy just to move the ball amongst themselves with no real urgency. Mason Holgate trying to drive it on down the right wing, but it's intercepted by Job, who's floated the ball up towards Roberts, who's spun off Callum Styles and down to the touchline on the right hand side, and now plays it back to Chris Rigg. I think that's Rigg's first touch. Job inside of him in the middle, thought about a shot if he could get it away, but he rolls it through to Watson, and the ball whipped off his feet just at the last by Tom Fellows for a corner.
Excellent play by Job. Good movement by Watson.
And a bit of fortune, that could have been a shot from Watson, but it was just poked away from him at the last. And Roberts and Watson going across to the left at the Roker end to take the corner kick. It's notable tonight, there's a lot of empty seats. It's by no means one of the bigger crowds we've seen this season, whether that's because it's on telly and it's cold, I don't know. But it was an appetising game. Roberts drives it in low, it's not a good corner at all. Hooked away by Malumbi up to the halfway line, looking for Mikey Johnston, but it's won back by Watson, out to Roberts on the left. He plays it inside to Job. Job now in midfield, in the middle. He plays it back to Mepham in the centre circle. Neil is alongside of him on the left, and Neil bringing this forwards in the 7th minute now for Sunderland to Watson. Watson laying it off wide to Hume, back inside to Job. Madger went to close him down. It's played forwards again by Ballard to Job. Sorry, back to Ballard from Job, and then to Mepham. Mepham on his shoulder is Johnston, plays it out to Job on the left-hand side, taking it into the West Bromwich Albion half. Madger in front of him. He finds that little gap for Hume, and a nice ball played on to Watson on the left of the penalty area, trying to get to the goal line and pull it back, and the ball has been blocked by Fellows, and the referee's given a goal kick. He's applauded, ironically, by Kyle Bartley. Watson getting in again though.
Yeah.
I thought he looked positive in the first half at Milwall. He wasn't overawed. This is his first home start, of course, so that'll be a big thing for him. And the ball placed by Alex Palmer in the middle of his 6-yard line.
202 people watching.
And Sunderland have got a line of 4 on the halfway line, 4 West Bromwich Albion attackers. It's played out wide left as Johnston tried to spin around O'Nien. The ball went out, throw quickly taken by Sunderland. It's now with Roberts, who slips it in to Rigg, and it's slipped out to Job, and he miskicked it, gets a shot away, and it bounces off the goalkeeper. Nobody there to follow through. Well, there was a comedy of errors there.
Indeed.
But it ended up with the goalkeeper.
Bit of luck.
Good start, says Gary.
Again, yeah, a little bit of luck, and it could have been a different outcome. And Carlos Corberán, his legs askance, his arms waving, his hands waving. Even Regis Lebris actually is getting a little bit animated now, as Isidore went to close down Alex Palmer, who passes the ball out. Bartley plays it up to Madger, flicks it on to Malumbi, looking for the gap here for Carlin Grant to run onto, but it runs all the way through to Patterson, who's immediately closed down, but he gets the ball away. Patterson is fallen to Hegem, the Norwegian centre half.
Yeah, so far,
3
so good.
caps for Norway. Mowat back to Bartley and Hegem again on this left-hand side, playing it forwards down the left, looking for Johnston, but it's come through to MACKEM at the back, and MACKEM will slowly bring this out. In my field of vision in front of me, there's a spider hanging
there is,
down.
I can
you see it?
Yeah, just there.
And it's actually quite distracting, isn't it? Because it's right in front of us, just swinging on its web, on its silken thread. I'm talking of silken threads. Job, what a lovely ball through to Isidore at the edge of the area, but his shot is blocked. It comes down to Tommy Watson, but it bounces off him and allows Malumbi, I think it is, to get the ball back to Alex Palmer, the goalkeeper. And he plays it out away, down the right. Trey Hume plays it back to Dan Ballard. We're in the 10th minute, 0-0. MACKEM now bringing this over the halfway line, out to Roberts on this right-hand side. Over the top, O'Neill nods it back down to Rigg on the right. Rigg, he's trying to get past Styles, who blocks him. That looked like a foul to me. Rigg played it through Styles' legs, and Styles just stood there, and Rigg bounced off him. The referee says no foul, no free kick. In fairness to Rigg, he didn't appeal.
Kevin's just got the spider.
Kevin in front of us has swept the spider away. As Watson now in the middle again, looking, well, Rigg it is.
Hello,
Job's
Doug.
there as well. There's a call for handball, and it's given. Free kick to Sunderland. As
check your levels, mate.
Madja
You should be able to hear us, okay.
frustrated with himself. They were trying to clear, and
good opportunity.
In the chat, you can tell us.
Good opportunity.
Yeah, the ball. 25 years old now, compared to what was he, 21 when he left. 21 when he left Sunderland. He looks older, he looks more mature now, Josh Madja.
Come on, you baggies, welcome Chris
Clearly,
anyway.
there's a player there, 10 goals this season, hat-trick on the opening weekend at Queen's Park Rangers.
Come on, Roberts.
So, Roberts,
work the keeper.
He'll fancy this. Alex Palmer.
Hit the target, that's all you got to do.
Just organising his wall, goes to his right-hand post, having been to the left. Tommy Watson just stands to the right of Patrick Roberts. There's a player lying on the floor, of course.
Call the draft excluder.
The draft excluder is there.
Target.
And Roberts now 2 foot, two step up, and it's straight into the wall. And Watson down the left here to Hugh. He crosses, headed away though by Holgate at the edge of the area, and it's in the air again. Watson got a touch. Mowat headed it on down the left now for Isidore, who's wide. Watson's just behind him. Watson swings across in, but there's nobody in there, and it swings behind for a goal kick. 0-0. 12th minute. They're going to have to be patient tonight. Sunderland. Their one win, West Bromwich Albion, in the last 10 came the game before the weekend at Hull, before the international break. They won 2-1 there.
So far, there doesn't like any goals for either team.
Forwards down the left-hand side, gets the ball back here. His socks rolled down around his ankles. Sheffield United 2, Oxford 0 now.
Yeah, Sheffield United 2, Oxford 0.
Sunderland away at Bramall Lane on Friday night, of course. There's the ball wide on the right with West Bromwich Albion. Mowat, and eventually Malumbi back to the goalkeeper. The 2 centre-backs either side at the penalty area. Isidore's in there as well. Now goes to put pressure on Palmer, who kicks through the centre. Ballard heads it back to Hume on halfway, who nods it onto Watson, but there's a strong challenge on his shoulder by Holgate, and the ball out to Fellows and down that right-hand side to Grant. And they've got players in the middle here, West Bromwich Albion, and they still have possession in the centre with Mowat to Hegem, and Hegem now wide on the left to Johnston. And O'Nien's trying to get the ball off him. He's pulling his shirt, and the referee's let that go. The ball's come back out to Hegem. Hegem to Alex Mowat, and wide again to Johnston on the left-hand side. And the Republic of Ireland international takes it inside again, and away from Rigg, back to Mowat. Trying to get Mowat to Johnston, pulling his trying to get it through the gap for Carlin Grant at the edge of the D, but it's come back to Holgate on the right of midfield and out wide on the right wing. A lot of Fellows now trying to dribble into the penalty area. Crosses into Madja, who just scoops at his kick, slightly off balance, but he was in space, and if he'd made good contact, that could well have been the opening goal.
Yeah, good opportunity there for Ross Maja. He lost his footing, didn't he?
He did. He just slightly went off balance, off kilter, and snatched at his shot a bit. And there are 589 away fans, I'm told, up in the north.
You made a hash of that, Josh, like.
Above where Josh Maja has just missed that opportunity for West Bromwich Albion. 0-0 then in the 14th minute. Job's having to work hard here to come out with the ball. Referee's not going to give him any help. And the ball's going to bounce out towards the far touchline and out for a throw to Sunderland. Halfway inside their own half.
Been a Sunderland player still, man.
500 and how many?
89. That's being precise.
Hello, Jack Reed. Hello, Brom. Found the batteries.
Hume plays it back to
Sheffield
Patterson.
United make that 2-0 up. Yeah, they're coursing,
always, and now
they've only got
they're in their red and white striped Sunderland, and O'Nien on the right. Callum Stars goes to close him down. O'Nien holds him off, plays it all the way back to Patterson from the touchline, and Patterson passing it out to Mepham.
No, not at all.
To O'Nien on this right side, driving up, looking for the run of Isidore, and the flag's going to come up. Which it does when Isidore makes contact.
It's a pretty dull game so far, like.
To West Bromwich Albion. Halfway inside there.
Sheffield United are playing Oxford.
Fairly central.
Sheffield United, so
Kyle Bartley leaves it.
I can imagine Sheffield United getting
to Hegem to take the free kick. Short to Styles, back to Hegem. And he drives it on. Looking for the run of Carl and Grant, but it's going to come all the way to Patterson's come out of his area on the right-hand side.
Should be all right, because it's
floats
just
it
audio.
back up into the West Bromwich Albion half.
Hegem
heads it on to Rigg. It bounced awkwardly off him, and he made a sort of strange body movement to try and recover his position, but the ball has gone out. In fact, Rigg's been penalised for push on Styles on the touchline. Styles takes the free kick quickly to Mowat, back to Bartley. Bartley just stands in the middle of the West Bromwich half and plays it down to his left for Hegem.
Hegem, so you can hear it.
Again, pausing.
It takes a bit of skill. It's
looking for options. No particular hurry from West Bromwich Albion. Out to Styles on the left-hand side. Back again to Bartley at the edge of the area. To the goalkeeper, Alex Palmer. Isidore goes to close him down. Palmer kicks out to the right wing. Fellows, I think it's there, who just lays it back off to Mason Holgate. It was Malumbi actually. Fellows is just ahead of Holgate. Now Malumbi looking for Grant, and Ballard made a challenge, but there's a break now for Fellows. But the ball whipped off his feet by Mepham.
Great play.
He takes it out to the left and then plays it back to the edge of the area to Trey Hume, and Hume leaves it for Ballard.
There needs something to happen in the game, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
It's flat.
A bit stagnant, isn't it? It needs, I mean, Sunderland ideally, if they could get their noses in front.
That's typical.
Now with O'Nien on the right-hand side, on the halfway line, down the line, it's going to run out. Has done right at the ankles of the assistant. In fact, rolls off the assistant's feet down the line for a throw to West Brom, who were at Preston at the weekend. Hegem, ball at his feet. Rosenborg, centre half.
How you doing, Thomas? Well, if you're gonna ready to get your knob out, it's going to be cold, mate. It'll probably shrink
spent
tonight.
most of his West Brom career on loan, actually, at a number of clubs. Hegem's under pressure from Rigg in the penalty area,
isn't he? Sorry,
but gets it out to Johnston. Signed from Celtic in the summer, and then Mowat to Malumbi at the edge of the area, away from Job, out to Holgate. Watson in front of him. Holgate looking for Maja, but Hume whips in front of him, finds Watson. Watson now is pushed over. Referee has given the free kick.
Roberts has been terrible at corners.
And there's someone lost a boot here, or is it the ball? It's the ball. It's just suddenly come.
Well, 17 minutes, 18 minutes gone. This is looking like a perfect recipe.
So this free kick, 25 yards out on the left of midfield for Sunderland. Roberts, if he takes it, has got to do better than last time.
Yeah.
It's a bit further out than last time as well, but I think he'll fancy a pop.
I think he'll play this in. Try to aim for Mepham or Ballard.
Ballard's he's away on his right-hand side with Job, Mepham,
delivery in.
O'Nien. There's the four of them on the right here. just inside the penalty area. Roberts in his orange boots just standing a couple of yards back from the
pitch, says
ball
Thomas.
in the 19th minute now. It's still 0-0 and Roberts does play it in here. It's headed away. The flag has come up, I think, for a foul by Ballard, or is it offside? Offside.
Sick.
And the free kick to West Bromwich Albion.
It's not the best game.
Ballard jogging back up.
Would a point be a really bad result tonight for Sunderland, do you think?
O'Nien. The goalkeeper just throws the ball down here in front of the penalty spot. The centre-backs push out now at the instructions of Carl Bartley. Palmer's going to kick this up over the halfway line. The players are way towards the right-hand side. And Palmer with the kick floats towards the right. Ballard gets up and gets his head on it. Watson chases it, but it's gone out for a West Bromwich Albion throw. Just 15-20 yards inside the Sunderland half.
And we've got 53 likes as well, so we're halfway there to 100 likes.
Takes it back to Bartley. Across here then to Hegum. Behind him is the goalkeeper, just at the edge of his area. Rigg is the one that applies the pressure this time. Out to Bartley on the right, up towards Johnston. Inside to Mowat, wide to Styles on halfway. Styles back to Alex Mowat, former Leeds and Barnsley man. And
thanks for anybody who's keeping us updated on the other scores.
Pauses and plays it back behind him to Hegum. Hegum back to Bartley, and the ball is to swung wide, long down the right, headed away by Hume to Job. Back to Hume, who again plays it forwards down the left to Watson. Watson comes inside, he's pulled down.
Definitely fell off.
And it's a free kick for the foul on Watson by Mason Holgate. Back inside the Sunderland half on the left-hand side of
like the waste of money, you reckon,
I mean, I was saying earlier about
Pete
Sinksmith and Anne Wade, who are wishing all the best, and don't blame us for the game if it's not very good. And I'm feeling obliged almost to apologise to them both now, because it's not great, is it? As you say, it needs something. It needs a spark somewhere. Something needs to happen. And you know, as I was told beforehand that West Brom would play like this, they would stifle Sunderland, and that's what they're trying to do. O'Nien to Rigg in his own half, back to Mepham. Mepham across to Ballard. Ballard, as Carlos Corberán crouched down at the corner of his 6-yard box again, his technical area. And here's Watson down the left of the penalty area, and the ball whipped off his feet for a corner by Holgate.
Better play, well done.
16-1 good price, Hall. Let's have a decent
Carlos Corberán goes back and sits in the dugout. Regis Lebris is in his dugout.
It's got to be a good delivery. It's got to be a good delivery.
Watson's going to take this one on the left, the Roker end, in front of an array of empty seats over there in the corner. And Roberts just to the left of the penalty area. Tom Fellows is out there as well. A lot of players in the 6-yard box. Watson's right arm raised a moment, and he whips this in here now into the 6-yard box. And it was Carl Bartley who got the head to it and away, but Watson's gone on the shoulder of Carlin Grant, and Carlin Grant's got away from him down the right-hand side. Up towards the edge of the Sunderland penalty area now, and it's turned into the path of Fellows. He crosses straight to Patterson, who caught it above the 6-yard line. We're out quite quickly then, West Bromwich Albion, from Sunderland's corner. 0-0, 23rd minute. Hull 0, Sheffield
Watson
Wednesday
just easily
1.
gets pushed off the
Latest score, bearing in mind those games kicked off at 7:45.
Robbie number 1, West Brom
kicked off at 8, of course, is Hume.
So
sorry, Neil to Rigg.
Watson's 18.
Rigg in the centre circle out to Watson. Hume's coming forwards here on the left-hand side. Body's getting towards the edge of the area. Watson finds Job. Job will shoot. It's blocked. Comes back out to Neil in the middle. Madger on his shoulder. Behind him is Mepham, and now Ballard. The crowd trying to get behind Sunderland now and just give them a lift. Out to Roberts on the right-hand side. Roberts, 2 in front of him, finds O'Nien down the right. He swings a ball into the penalty area. And Bartley swings it in the air. Hegham heads it away. Head down again by Roberts to O'Nien. Behind him is Neil. Out on the right,
Tony
back
Hawkins
to the
at
halfway
times,
line
like
to
watching a
Mepham.
playground game could throw
And
a
Sunderland will
blanket
have to try and
over
find
all of
another
them.
avenue through
SJ
the
Watson
sea
is not as
of
good as
yellow and
Milwall, even
blue.
though the winger. This is
And
obvious.
Ballard
He's still a
now
young
just
lad.
inside the
Tigers
West
nail
Bromwich
out.
Albion half. Mepham in the centre circle.
We need definitely strength and depth.
Brings
We
it
cannot
out
have
wide to
too
Roberts
many
on the right
youngsters playing.
touchline,
We need
halfway
that
inside the
balance.
West Bromwich half. And now
But my God, we're missing
taps
certain
it
as well
to
tonight.
Rig. Norwich 2, Plymouth 1.
Plymouth
As
pulled the ball
Mepham
back.
wide. Madger on his shoulder. On to the head of Styles, but he gives it away to Roberts. Rig gets it back in the middle to
And
Joe.
Phillips
One
was
touch
tight.
to Roberts, but he was stretching too much and he'd already gone too far forward. But Neil wins it back, and Rig now in the middle rolls it to Hume. Hume urged to shoot. Hume at the edge of the area does shoot. It's blocked. It comes back out here, and it'll be played out by West Bromwich Albion. Carlin Grant. Neil's trying to win it back from Grant. Fouls him.
Done well, the lad.
And it's a free kick to West Bromwich Albion just outside the D. 25 minutes will come up in 30 seconds time. 0-0. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle. In this very
the
busy
MACKEM
week.
channel.
Lots of live football last night, tonight, Friday night. And now, of course, Saturday afternoon as well for Newcastle at Crystal Palace.
Well, it
The ball
feels
back
you
with
could
Alex
watch
Palmer.
an omnibus edition
Passes it to Hegham.
edition of Last of the Summer
Hegham
Wine.
at the edge of the West Bromwich
Well,
Albion
well,
area,
yeah, it's
lifting it up to the halfway line. Brought down by Mepham. And Mepham now to Job in the middle. Job lays it off to Neil, a couple of yards back to Job, and then again to Ballard, and Ballard down the left to Hume, inside to Job, and left of the centre circle, plays it back to Mepham behind the centre circle, calls for it back Job, and quickly recycles it out to O'Nien on the right wing into the West Bromwich Albion half. Roberts
Edna
back
says,
to
Watson has to
O'Nien,
start
inside
somewhere.
to
Give him a
Rig.
chance.
Rig
Welcome anywhere,
just
Edna.
right of the centre circle into the centre circle to Dan Neil, and Neil through the middle to Job. Job is cut out his ball across to the left by Grant. Played behind him to Holgate, inside then to Malumbi. Malumbi to Hegham. Hegham on the left, inside the West Brom half, out to Styles on the left wing. Takes it over the halfway line. Roberts is chasing back. Callum Styles needs some help. He's got Johnston behind him. He plays it inside to Mowat. This inside the Sunderland half. Then to Malumbi. Malumbi wide on the right to Fellows. Fellows taking this on down the right for crossing. Crosses in and Ballard heads it out. Malumbi gets a foot to it. Watson gets in front of him. The two tussle. Watson goes down, and it's a free kick to Sunderland. 0-0, 27th minute.
Not much happening, is there?
No.
Nothing happening at all.
It's not through want of Sunderland trying to make something happen, but West Bromwich Albion just get bodies back behind the ball, and they found a way of thwarting them. But a lovely ball over the top from Roberts for Isidore, down the right at the penalty area. Immediately closed down by Hegham. He needs some help here. Roberts has come up behind him. Roberts down on the right-hand side. Plays it back to Rig then on the right. And Rig, again, there's lots of
a better looking one.
yellow in front of him. Mepham. Now Mepham looks for a way through. Plays it wide to Roberts. Roberts
wow,
is going to try and come past Johnston.
No.
Plays the ball in. It comes off Hegham. Bounces awkwardly, actually, away from Palmer and goes behind for a corner. That seemed to spin on the spot where Meslier was caught out that evening against Leeds. I wonder if there's a little errant patch of grass. Anyway, it's led to a corner for Sunderland in the 28th minute.
You need a good delivery here.
Roberts will take this from the right-hand side. Again, plenty of bodies in the 6-yard box. 3 outside the box as well for Sunderland. Roberts drives us in. It's headed clear by Hegham.
Ooh.
And completely missed by Rig as he went to swing his left foot at it. Styles is on his shoulder now, but Rig's holding him off. And Rig now trying to get away down the left touchline. Puts a ball into the penalty area, but Mowat is there. Isidore goes in heavily. Holgate gets the ball out to Grant on the right-hand side. They've not got it fully clear yet. O'Nien's got it with his left side of central midfield to Job. Job back to Neil. Neil now looking for Roberts on the right-hand side here. Just crept past Madger. And now he rolls it into O'Nien on the right side of the penalty area, and Malumbi heads it behind.
A lot better.
And O'Nien's trying to claim it came off Malumbi's arm. He's not going to get that.
No way.
Suddenly a burst of pace, and it opened up West Bromwich Albion a little bit. So a fourth Sunderland corner, this on the right-hand side at the Roker end. And the crowd are warmed up by that little burst of play.
Needs to improve, SJ.
The players spread out a little bit more liberally in the penalty area now for this corner. Hume joins them. Riggs standing just outside the D, and Patrick Roberts swings it in with his left. It's well, free kick for a foul on Mowat.
Every time we get
so that comes to nothing as well.
Especially corners. It just
on this cold.
It's a foul. It's a foul.
November evening. You see the air, the breath condensing from the players' mouths.
It's pathetic.
It's like looking at cattle in a field on a wintry day. You know that feeling when you see them, you're driving past, you see all the steam rising from the cattle. The players, you think they'd run around a bit more to warm up.
Awful, man.
What are you trying to say?
Not that I'm trying much about the game. All the players in the middle at the moment. On the right, the kick from Palmer floats over the halfway line. Job heads it on. Bartley heads it back.
Totally, Jonathan.
It's going to be headed away again by Ballard. It drops to the feet of Malumbi, I think it is. But then headed away again by Mepham and again by Ballard. It is head tennis at the moment. Before Johnson puts his foot through it, back to the goalkeeper. Passes it to Hegem, who's caught by Roberts. And Roberts can't get away with the ball. There's appeals for foul but nothing from Bobby Madley. Roberts slightly unlucky. And Johnson now trying to get away from O'Nien, who's caught him. The referee was right on the spot. Johnson's trying to say he was caught in the face, and he looks around him. Nobody's showing him any sympathy whatsoever, and play goes on. And here's Mepham bringing the ball up over the halfway line now, playing it out to Roberts on the right hand side, and Roberts trying to get away down the right, leaves it for Rigg. It's blocked by Hegem, eventually into the middle, where it's won back by Grant, hooks it over his head, drops to O'Nien, who plays it across the centre circle to Hume, and the ball rolls into the West Bromwich Albion penalty area to the goalkeeper. Ian Smith, who was once upon a time our rugby commentator, tells me that cows don't run, they amble, slowly eating grass.
Amble.
Point well made, I think, by me.
To be fair, we've seen some amblers here.
Exactly. It was a well-chosen analogy, Ian. Thank you.
Everyone.
As the ball headed back by Watson to Ballard. And probably Orr in his big armchair in front of the fire, nursing his hot chocolate with his dramatic novel. The ball back with O'Nien into the middle to Mepham.
Who's teaching
back again to Patterson.
Absolutely awful.
Patterson will drive this straight out though to Mowat, who leaves it for Johnston, and Johnston trying to get into the centre to engineer something for West Bromwich Albion, then plays it out to Fellows on the right corner of the penalty area. Comes back to Holgate now. He crosses. It's headed back actually by Joe to the edge of the area, but it breaks for Isidore. He's going to take on Bartley. Isidore still going on from the middle. He's got Malumbi behind him. Isidore suddenly finds four players around him. Watson's behind him. His shot is blocked, and it's hooked in the air by Styles and onto the halfway line. And O'Nien heads it down to Neil, and Neil now inside to Job, and Job to Hume.
Might have known Styles
Hume,
about a
third of the way inside the West Bromwich half. Job is tackled by Madger, who gets the ball inside to Malumbi. Now Mowat, and Mowat just behind the centre circle, looking for Styles on the left-hand side here. Styles just caught by Roberts. The ball knocked out off Styles for a throw to Sunderland. It's 2-0 at half-time in the game at Bramall Lane between Sheffield United and Oxford United. I'm told it's a Clive Cussler novel that Ian Smith is reading tonight. I've never heard of Clive Cussler, actually. I did start watching, talking of dramas and adapted novels, Slow Horses. I'm not saying that's an analogy to this game, by the way. The ball goes behind for a goal kick to West Bromwich Albion. Lots of people talk about Slow Horses, the spy drama on TV. I started watching it last night. Very good. Yeah. which is very good.
Job is
Recommend
overrated in my eyes, says
Only seen
Craig.
one episode,
Madge will
though.
come back to haunt
But
Sunderland.
the episode I've seen is very good.
So it's on
There you go,
any
Ian
player
Smith.
that
That's your
used
next
to play
book.
for Sunderland always does.
It's adapted from a Mick Herron novel. Short pass between goalkeeper and centre-back Hegem, then a big kick upfield will come all the way back to Patterson. Patterson swings up over the halfway line, finds Rigg, who plays it inside, but Madger gets a boot to it, but takes it straight to Rigg. Rigg, though, couldn't control it. Mowatt's got it in the middle of the West Bromwich Albion half, lays it off behind him to Holgate. Short pass forwards to Malumbi. We're in the 34th minute. It's still 0-0, which perhaps shouldn't come as a great surprise, bearing in mind the records of the two teams we've been talking about in the build-up to this game. Holgate back into the middle to Bartley. Bartley in the centre of the West Bromwich Albion half, to his left to Hegem, and Hegem back to the goalkeeper. He's closed down by Isidore, but just passes it straight out through the middle to Bartley. Looks for Madger, who just turns it with his back of his boot out to the left, eventually to Johnston. Inside again to Styles. Behind him is Mowat, and Mowat back to Holgate in the D at the edge of the West Bromwich Albion half, and then laid off to Hegem again and back to the goalkeeper. Closed down and nearly caught by Isidore as he played the ball out. He was a little bit unlucky there, but Neil now has got the ball, lays it to Watson in the penalty area, tried to drive it in through, but it's blocked again by West Bromwich Albion. Comes out to Hume, swings it over to the right here to Roberts. Roberts, Styles in front of him at the corner of the penalty area, goes across on his left and swings it into the Roker end.
I think that just sums up this game, that effort there.
I've got nothing written down.
I don't know if it's lacking belief, tempo, intensity, whatever you want to call it.
There was one short spell, wasn't it, for 30 seconds, probably when they had suddenly upped the tempo and they did get in behind. Is that
even the
what it's
referee's
required?
blowing
Even
his whistle. Even the referee's bored. He's telling him to come on. I think that just sums it up, innit?
Well, it's a sort of game of chess,
the referee,
isn't it?
the referee's even saying, come on, speed things up.
It's footballing chess, this, as Hume plays it through the middle and Neil's fouled. And the advantage played by Bobby Madley. Riggs taking it on through the middle. Nice ball to Watson at the edge of the penalty area. Into the penalty area. Tried to cross. It's got blocked behind and a corner. Intelligent play there.
Good advantage.
Gateshead 0, Rochdale 0 at half-time. By the way, we'll have a report from Paul Dixon at half-time. We've still got 10 minutes till the break. Watson with a corner from the left. It's Sunderland's 5th corner. They're lining up behind the penalty spot. A short corner to Roberts. Back to Watson. And Watson now into the penalty area. Pulls it back and a foot out from the goalkeeper to put it behind again.
Good play.
For another corner. That was intelligent play as well. Trying something different there, Watson. Weaving in. And Palmer forced to make the save. First real test for Palmer, I think. And another corner. This time it's driven in and driven out by Malumbi for a throw. So 0-0 still. And the ball back on halfway. Neil out to O'Nien. Back into the centre circle. Mepham lets it run through to Ballard. Ballard just short pass to his right to Mepham into the West Bromwich Albion half, out to O'Nien, taking it back into the middle, then laying it back off onto the halfway line. Mepham to Neil in the middle, then out to the left to Trey Hume. Hume inside to Job. Job here to Mepham on the right hand side, and then down the right to Rigg. Rigg being closed down by Styles, back to Mepham, and Mepham back to Neil in the centre circle. Madger chasing him. Madger going with Dan Neil.
Daughter just wanted to go to the toilet
plays
there.
the ball back to Ballard.
What have I missed?
Ballard away from Grant, back to Patterson in the D at the edge of the penalty area, away to our left, and then out to O'Nien. And O'Nien, well, it whipped past him. Roberts thankfully kept it in and just in front of Regis de Bries, and O'Nien has it again now, and the referee saying the ball went out.
Oh,
Did the ball...
Roberts was in an offside position and came back, and that's what they're giving.
Well, I was coming back from take
just
me
inside
down
the West Bromwich
I thought
Albion
we'd be at
half.
least 4-0 up by now.
Bobby Madley's trying to explain, that it's for offside. It literally was. It was only inches inside the
Thomas says, as he should
West Bromwich half.
SJ, do something
eagle-eyed
with these
assistant, I have to
Tony
say.
says the only thing surprising about this game is
And
Sky wanted it.
Still thinking back, I can't even remember Roberts being in their half at that point.
Average all season,
But
his
the
final
assistant
ball
says he was.
shooting is
And
crap.
it's Hegham back
John
to
Dussaud
the
might get around to
goalkeeper.
some
Rig
cooking
goes to close him
recipes
down,
soon.
and they put pressure again. Sunderland on the passing out from the back.
Tony Huntley
Joe
had a
trying
boring
to
0-0 all
put pressure
over
on
it so
Hegham
far,
on the
living
wing.
up
It's
to
played
it.
into the middle, and now it breaks
Edna
here
says, "Come
for
on, Tommy."
Rig, who stabs it back into the centre circle to Ballard, and Hume just in front of him, and Hume back across Neil through the middle. Joe back to Mepham, and Mepham out wide to Roberts on the right hand side. Roberts back to Mepham. It's just inside the West Bromwich half, but now onto the halfway line on the centre spot. It's Ballard. Ballard out to Watson, wide on that left-hand side. Watson cutting back inside, leaving it to Job. Job into the centre circle to Neil, forwards to O'Nien, back to Neil.
One of those
in the centre circle, short pass to his left to Ballard. Ballard out to Hume. Hume back to Ballard. Ballard to Neil. And Neil playing on now to Rig, just on the halfway line. Trying to get it into the path of Isidore. Bartley strong on his shoulder. Eventually it comes off Bartley for a throw to Sunderland down the right.
Hall, if it's anything like our other second half performances.
O'Nien with the throw. Back to Mepham. In the 40th minute. We've nearly played 40 minutes now. Ballard forwards to Hume. Hume lifting one over the top, looking for Job, who's at the edge of the penalty area. Bartley heads it on, Holgate heads it down and away. Watson's run onto it, and he's got Hume down that left side as well. Back to Watson, and Watson inside to Job. Job looks up and swings across with his right foot to Roberts, just right up the penalty area. He's got Styles in front of him. Roberts leaves it for Rig. Rig curls it into the penalty area. It's headed out though by Malumbi, headed on by Madger. And now Mepham's battling and pushing Johnston off the ball to get the ball back to Ballard. Through the middle again to Neil. Neil to Job. Job trying to get away from Grant. Finds Watson at the corner of the penalty area. Watson trying to get it on his right. It did, but it took a deflection into the path of Fellows. And Fellows plays it out down the right-hand side to Madger, who lays it off again to Tom Fellows. And Fellows now looking for Grant, but Mepham calmly and coolly just runs across the front of Grant and plays the ball back.
We need to step up pace
Patterson.
and make changes in the second
We've
half.
got to do something different, haven't we?
It's flat. It's been flat.
A bit of invention called for.
You know, Tommy Watson's tried 3 times putting inside and getting that shot, and every time it's been blocked.
Always been defender
Hello,
in the way.
Colin, how you doing, mate?
Watson
what
again.
The hell's going on here?
Neil,
absolutely nothing.
Just inside the
There's your answer.
West Brom half. Mepham.
It's very dull.
Out wide again. Roberts
so far,
halfway inside the
nothing,
West Bromwich Albion half, dribbling into the penalty area, but Johnston whips it off his feet and then puts it out for a throw down in the corner on the right, which O'Nien takes quickly from a couple of feet back from the touchline to Rig. And Rig.
Thanks for 301 people watching though.
Mepham short to Roberts. Roberts then to Rig on this right hand side. Nearly played 42 minutes. Can't see that Bobby Madley's going to add much on at the end of this first half.
Ballard
taking this on out wide then to Hume. Hume crosses again now. Joe brings it down well, but Bartley whipped across the face of him and knocks the ball out for a throw on the far side. And so into the 43rd minute, 0-0.
Top
live
6
on
teams
BBC
in
Radio
Championship
Newcastle.
probably best in this division.
Trey Hume with a throw, 10 yards from the corner on the
Robbie, I do think
left-hand
Leeds
side
and
to
Sheffield
Watson.
United are a different class.
Hume back again down the touchline to Joe. Joe coming a long way back, but then turning into the centre circle to Mepham.
And what I've seen of Sunderland the last 2 months.
Out to the right here to O'Nien.
Like playoff contenders
to
at a push.
Roberts, O'Nien again, short pass inside to Roberts,
back
indicating
to me,
Mepham,
especially
just flick
tonight
back
as
to
well,
him.
and the last couple of games.
Forwards again down the right.
Top 2 contenders.
To Rig, back to Mepham, back to Patterson in the middle of the Sunderland half. Passes it to Mepham again. Closed down by Johnston. forwards to Rigg here on the right-hand side. Over the halfway line, Roberts looking for the run of Isidore. Isidore with Hegem chasing him. Isidore gets in front of the Norwegian, trying to get around him, plays it back behind him to O'Nien, slips it inside to Roberts, trying to get it back to O'Nien again on the goal line, and Hegem comes off O'Nien as it went out for a goal kick. 44th minute, still 0-0.
Neither of us mind, but they're just quite happy
Alex
to sit
Palmer
back in that sun and just pass it about.
Sea green kit jogs across to retrieve the ball.
Just not posing a
Players slowly ambling up towards the
Tony Huntington, too busy
halfway line.
Forgot to hit the leg. Thank you, Tony.
Palmer placing the ball down on the right side of his 6-yard box. Players over on that right-hand side, and Palmer then motors up, kicks the ball over the halfway line. Ballard's got his eye on it, heads it forwards to the halfway line. Holgate gets up above Watson. Grant heads it down looking for Fellows, who knocks the ball forwards. Madger's made a move into the penalty area, but the ball is wide, and Ballard plays it to Neil. And Neil, when it comes off Malumbi, and Neil plays it back out again to Watson on the left. And Watson runs into Malumbi. The loose ball picked up by Holgate, laid off behind and played through. Madger can't get round Ballard, and Ballard will just pass it back to Patterson to clear. We're in the final minute of the first half. I suspect we'll get a minute. I can't see there being much time being added on at the end of this first half. There's been barely any stoppages. It's just been slow, methodical.
I'm just trying to go on social media, but there's nothing
Sunderland
even on
just trying to
social
find
media.
a way through. Here's Watson. Can he find one now? Watson still going. Watson at the edge of the penalty area, but again, a couple of players in front of him. He leaves it for Hume down the left-hand side. The cross played into the back of the 6-yard box by Hume. 1 minute added on. We're into the minute, and Watson plays the ball back into the centre circle. Mepham bringing it forwards. Mepham now playing it out to the right to Roberts, and Roberts looking for O'Nien on the right side of the penalty area. O'Nien being forced out by Styles, slips it back inside to Roberts. Got about 30 seconds left. Job in the middle, leaves it now for Hume. Hume back to Job in the centre. And Job looks up, plays it up to Isidore, tries a little flick through for Rigg at the edge of the area, but West Bromwich Albion get it away again. Madger's got it. He's away here through the centre, trying to pass it now to Johnston. It reaches him despite a little touch from O'Nien, and Johnston into the Sunderland penalty area on the left-hand side. 2 players in front of him, he's still going, and Mepham just holds them off to allow the ball to roll behind for a goal kick. We've got seconds if that left.
half-time, is it?
Well, it's certainly the minute's been played, I think. As Bobby Madley going to blow. Now he is. Half-time arrives. 0-0 at the break. And as I said a few moments ago, it's been like footballing chess, hasn't it?
Well, there's not much to write home about, is there really? It's not much been happening. The intensity's been... Well, there's not been any intensity. It's quite slow.
And that down to the way that West Bromwich Albion are just the way they've set up. They get bodies behind the ball when they're not in possession. When they're in possession, they do look to try and break, but I wouldn't say that they've got an intensity about them.
No. You can see why they've had that many draws. You know, they try to control play. They don't play with any pace. But it's up to Sunderland. You know, we've got to press further up the field. We've got to put them under a little pressure. Try to win the ball. Try to make them make mistakes.
Right, I'm just going to...
Again, when we have been in good positions, you've got to say our quality's been poor. You know, our set pieces have been poor.
Commentary at the minute because the fact it's half time and they're just going to talk about dibbity bibbity boop. Sunderland nil, West Brom nil. I've just put a comment on social media saying it's about as exciting as watching Ted Bagley restoring sheds on the Discovery Channel. Oh my God. I'm not being a little bit harsh here, I don't bloody know. Should we dare? Oh dear me. Watson tried 3 times for a goal, so don't know what's being raw, says Edna. SJ says 3 times he's had his shot blocked. We need some magic to win this. John Do Sud says sounds like a cricket match, no pace, no action. Boring, says SJ. Unhappy face from John. Looks like we don't want top 2 spots, says SJ. And Tony Huntington says defo a cricket match. Ball has very little movement on the pitch. It's drab, isn't it? I'm going to read some social medias here. It's going to be interesting. Let's dive into this, shall we? So we've got Tom says Hume should be on the right playing with Roberts. It's not working with 09 on the right, in my humble opinion. Mark says keep probing, lads, it'll come. Connor Wilson says I really like Watson, has a great feet, but he's wasted a few opportunities just shooting at half chances. Says great player in there, it'll come with more minutes. Jeff says poor, little threat. Roberts well off the pace. Watson looking better by the minute. Roberts is getting slated, isn't he? Brutal, simple as that. West Brom absolutely solid behind the ball. Wayne says our set pieces are absolutely terrible. Need to get Wilson more into the game. Yeah. JJ Griffiths says they are the most boring team we've played all season. I'd have buried myself if I was a West Brom fan watching this. But they won't be complaining though if they went up and scored and got a winner, would they? But anyway, Mary says I swear there must be 2 09s on the pitch. He's been everywhere. Peter says has Dan Neil been to the pub? Michael says get my ender on. Saar says someone tell Tommy Watson to stop cutting in and shooting. Lad thinks he's prime Jack Clark. Did show flashes towards the end though. Stephen says somebody please explain to me why Roberts takes set pieces. Jesus man, he says. Michael says good aggression and tempo but very poor final ball and dead balls shocking tonight. Hopefully it'll come. Gary says 0 threat in the box. The young lads are struggling. Roberts is beyond wasteful, says Dominic. Luke says poor half. Anthony says played well, created nothing. Jem says why are you all picking on Roberts? Well, maybe it's because he's having an awful game. These are there for the taking. Need to step it up little in the second half. Yeah, but what we're forgetting in those, West Brom hasn't even stepped up yet. What can West Brom do if they stepped up? They haven't. It's clearly what they've done. They've done the homework. They probably watched Sunderland the last few games and thought, well, Sunderland seem to be a one half team. You know, they give the best in the first half, and then they just collapse and they go to bits in the second half. So don't be surprised if you see the same again, and West Brom have a right go and they step up the gear. If we don't, so it could be a very ugly second half. Hope I'm wrong. Stephen says we lose to a sucker punch tonight. Albert says Watson is far too lightweight, doesn't like the rough and tumble and cuts inside far too much. Roberts is having a mare, so we look feeble as out. So there we go. There's a lot of frustrated comments there. A lot guided at Roberts as well. So yeah, I'm not surprised really. Man City 1, Feyenoord 0, says Gary. Top 2 was always a stretch. I just think Sheffield United and Leeds, you know, 2 former Premier League sides, and it shows. You know, they're a different kettle of fish. Hope we turn up for the second half. Well, it's about time we did do something in the second half, Alan. Fernie says final ball not good enough at the moment. No, it's just laboured and predictable, isn't it? Gary says Sporting 0, Arsenal 3. SJ says top 2 isn't a stretch, like we're not up against Leeds, Madrid or Sheffield Donner. No, but you can just tell it's starting to tell already that the fact like Leeds, Sheffield United, like the D in the business when they want they're getting it done. To me, if we draw tonight, 4 draws on the spin, to me that already spells to our top 2, unless I'm being negative, like, but you're not going to get top 2 by drawing 4 games on the bounce. I'm sorry, like. it's just not gonna happen, is it? Or was it five games on the bounce? I don't bloody know. I'm just that bored and I'm falling asleep. So we drew against QPR, drew against Coventry, drew against Preston, drew against Milwall. It'll be 5 draws on the bounce. My God, that sounds even worse, doesn't it? Am I right? Can people correct me in the chat? If this stayed the same, it would be 5 draws on the bounce. John says, interesting to see if Regis can gear things up at half time. Tony Hunting says, the good thing Regis Labrie will have to change things. Normally we're well on top, so can't. David Knight says, come on you Black Cats, we need 3 points tonight, so keep the pressure on your opponents. Doug B says, Regis Labrie doesn't like half-time subs. Gary Hall says, Alfred and Town 1, South Shields 1. Mike Russell says, Sunderland I like, but you're doomed. Always going to be runners up. West Bromwich Albion. Burnley 1, Coventry 0. Burnley starting to get the wins together. Yep, says Etienne. Devon Hall, D Hall, sorry, says West Ham 2, Mags 0. Cheered me up last night. It would cheer me up even better if we get 3 points tonight as well, but it's looking like a long way off at the minute. Gary Hall says, Mike, you lot aren't setting the house on fire either. Note in it. Both teams are just not going for it, are they? It's just, there's no intensity from either side. No intensity from either side. Someone says Chris Metham is class. Going to be another draw. Poor, but still better than them. I don't think we've been better than West Brom. I just think West Brom haven't started yet. I just don't think West Brom have started. It's as simple as that. Phil, yes, 5 draws if this game stays the same. Now, when you say that again, like if it does stay the same tonight, 5 draws on the bounce, can you really say that's top 2 contenders? 5 draws on the bounce. It's not, is it? And now we're going to keep making excuses to say, well, we've had injuries, we've had suspensions and this and that and the other. Or is it the fact that we're just blown out? We just haven't got the strength and depth or the fitness, and we're running out of fuel with still... It's like a tank of fuel. We've got like 570 miles in the tank of fuel left, and we've got 1,000 miles still to go. Similar sort of thing. We're going to run out. But 5 draws on the bounce if it still stays the same. That's not top 2. Fernie says West Brom's low block, then catch you on the break. Well, that's what it's about. At the end of the day, Fernie, it's about putting the ball in the net and it's about scoring goals. That's the bottom line, not how much possession you've got, how much you sit back for. It's about putting that ball in the onion bag, and that's what it's all about. Keep the faith, Cabbie, says Durham Diver. They will come out second half, get a good result, 2-0 to the lads. They need to do something. The thing is, though, have we got the strength and depth to come out and make a massive change? Alan Gibbon, hello, Avon, says Meander Pace needed second half. West Brom too comfortable. They are. They haven't broke sweat. Rooster Coburn, hello Rooster. He says, from being 5 points clear, we haven't won a game of the attacking players, only Bellingham half decent, rest being atrocious. Meffam brilliant at the back, he's solid, isn't he? Oliver says, is the Colliery Tavern still going? I live in Carlisle, not Sunderland anymore, but anybody else in Sunderland can answer that. Andy Bet welcome, says just joined after work. How we been playing? Any improvement from our second half at the weekend? All I can just say, if it was any more stale that first half, there'd be mould growing on the strips of Sunderland. And West Brom, like I say, it's just been absolute flat. It's like they've already shook hands before the game and says, yeah, we'll settle for 0-0. Yeah, let's shake hands. Thank you, very good. That's what it seems like. Keep the faith, Cabby. Yep, already read that. ETM says top 2 is 2 points by game for the moment. We're there, but time's running out quick. ETM, isn't it? The cloth's getting wrung out, and there's not much left to rinse. We're really running out of options. We need them 3 points. Reality, both sides are not Prem, and it's our money. Alan Redu says, do you think Sunderland will win? On this first half performance, not a cat and else chance. I can't judge on West Brom because they've not come at us at all. They've just like sort of, well, how are Sunderland? We'll let you play a bit. Alan Gibbon, hello Ellen, says, break the bank and Jan, grab Plymouth's wingers. I don't know. Do you think I'm just being a bit harsh on the lads here today? I mean, is it such a bad result if we did get another draw? I've already made my opinion. I just think it's... Wait. It makes you even less believe now, top 2. Fernie says, will you spend big in January if still up there challenging? I think we'll have to, Fernie. I think we'll try and go and get Jordan Henderson back. It's just mad, isn't it? It's like we still seem quite a way off from the top 2, and that's not even thinking about the Premier League. I mean, crikey, this squad at the minute, if it was to get in the Premier League, crikey, we get hung, lined and quartered. So it's just mad, isn't it? It's just mad, the gulf. It's just getting impossible. But like I say, look at the teams like Sheffield United and Burnley and Leicester, who's walked the leagues, and Leeds have done well, and they just absolutely struggle like mad. I mean, like you say, Sheffield United, didn't they lose 9-0 to Newcastle at Bramall Lane? And yet when they're in the Championship, they look like world beaters. It's mad. Orkan, I can't understand what you're saying, but welcome. I was disappointed, says Oliver, with the Milwall result. Lived in London, not as good when I lived in North East Sunderland. Fork of the salt of the earth. Fernie says, think we'll sign at least 3 to hopefully get us over the line. I think your squad's good enough to get you over the line, Fernie, as you are. You know when you can just tell that the team's got that class? You can just tell that with Leeds. And more than Sheffield United, then, to be honest with you. I mean, I've seen you guys when you turned Sheffield United over at your bit. The gap's just getting bigger and bigger. Even the top 2 in the Championship, the gulf has grown every year. You've got the top 2 because you've always got the teams coming down from the Premier League. And then you've got like you've still got a third team that's come down, I suppose. And then you've got the lottery of the next. You've got the top 2, and then you've got the next 8 position teams, where it's a bit of a lottery. West Brom will win the game. Who knows, Alan? Come on, you baggy, says Matthew. Mike says, if Sunderland get promoted, well done. Wish you all the best, West Brom. Rather you go up than Sheffield United, says Fernie. Yeah, it'd have a nice ring to it, wouldn't it? Leeds and Sunderland getting promoted to the Premier League. That would sound good, wouldn't it? So the lads are out. Let's get the commentary in the background going as we just get things going again.
Bartley. Yeah. So 2 changes made by West Bromwich Albion. By long-term injury, so he's presumably been. Rasic is a defensive midfielder, but he's gone into defence. He's basically gone in to Bartley's position as centre half. Dobbins, a winger, former Everton
says, do you think we'll
winger.
make signings in the winter transfer window? We've got to.
He's on loan, as I say, from Aston Villa, who signed him this summer. Rig away straight away. Holgate cuts it out. Watson was hoping to get on the end of it.
2 seconds.
It's come back out to Roberts, inside to Neil. Neil still got it, edge of the area, tried to loop the ball into the penalty area, but it's headed clear, and then one back by Neil, played back to Ballard at the edge of the centre circle. Now out to Hume on the left. Inside to Job. Job in the middle, short pass to Neil, back again to Ballard. Ballard in the centre.
6 more likes to get to
Mepham. Gateshead 0, Rochdale 1. That was known goal in that game in the National League. Roberts, nice ball down the right for O'Nien, and it comes off Hegham for another corner to Sunderland. An early corner at the start of this second half.
Make these corners
in the first minute, in fact. Roberts is going down to take it on the right-hand side. Sunderland attacking the north end of the stadium in this second half in their red and white stripes. West Bromwich Albion in yellow shirts with blue sleeves, but a very fine
Mike Russell, great stream
blue
the
vertical line on the shirts. As Roberts sweeps the ball in, Mepham was trying to get to it, but West Brom got it out to Fellows on the far side. The whistle's blown.
Given handball.
What's it given? Offside by the looks of things.
There's another
Roberts
corner.
Quizzical over there,
offside.
but that's what's been given. Bobby Madley's the referee tonight.
4 corners at the top where we've took it and
he's all in black.
And offside.
Carlos Corberan.
What are they doing?
Jumps out of the dugout again and pacing towards the edge of his
Keep
technical area.
Man, son, and when the friggin' ball comes in the box.
Alex Palmer, the goalkeeper of West Bromwich Albion, is going to take the free kick. Drives it down the left-hand side. Ballard heads it back to the halfway line in the middle of his half.
I've just watched that.
Rasic, Serbian international, 12 caps
for
the former Red Star Belgrade and Valencia player, who was signed by Sassuolo a year ago in Italy. And the ball rolls out for another throw to West Bromwich Albion.
Says, I think you've got our
deep in their half on the left-hand side. Callum Stiles will take the throw. Sunderland, who made 3 changes at the start of the game, the 3 suspended players coming back in.
102
as over on that far side, Dobbin trying to dig the ball out and play it inside and eventually into Carlin Grant from Maja, and he plays it to the right here looking for Fellows. Back behind him is Malumbi, back again to Mowat, then Malumbi again on the right. Short pass inside to Mowat. Mowat across then to Hegham from Bromma Poikana. See, I now can pronounce it. I'm full of it. As the ball down the right-hand side here with Carlin Grant to Fellows. Fellows inside to Malumbi. Back again to Holgate, forwards to Grant down the right-hand side. And Watson wins the ball off him, but Grant just scythed through him.
The referee wasn't going to give it.
The referee looked at it, let Grant go away, but the flag came up from the linesman, the assistant, and Sunderland have the free kick. Hume back to Ballard, across then to Mepham, one of the 3 players for Sunderland still on a 4th yellow card. As the ball played out to O'Nien, great ball in here, looking for Isidore, stretches, couldn't get his foot to it, and it comes off Watson for the goal kick as he tried to get on the end of the ball that was swept through by O'Nien. Inches away from the toe of Isidore, trying to stab it past Alex Palmer. But it's a goal kick to West Bromwich Albion. We're in the 50th minute now and it's still 0-0. The goalkeeper urging everybody to push forwards. Rasic, the player who came on at half-time to replace Bartley, he's 6'4". Hegham 6'6" alongside of him. Although looking from where we're looking down at the back of the West Stand, we're in the Rasic actually looks bigger than Hegham. 0-0. Curious sort of trick of the goalkeeper urging everybody to push, playing it to his left to Stiles. Rasic down that left wing to Dobbin, and he's come inside, leaves it for Mowat, 6'6" alongside of him again. Although looking to where Rasic, and Rasic, tall blonde Serbian, plays it to his left to Hegham. Curious, sort of the Norwegian, and he played it up to Maja, who looks stronger these days. And Mowat now trying to get through the middle, plays it to his left-hand side to Dobbin, Lewis Dobbin. And he plays it into the penalty area to the goal line. It's just rolled over the line. I thought the flag has stayed down, but Patterson's got it. And Maja's standing in front of him. Rolls it out to O'Nien. O'Nien.
Don't know the job to just go get back behind the ball.
They just run back, all the players behind the ball.
Yeah.
And now O'Nien in his own half still. Mepham And Mepham on the halfway line pretty much into the centre
it's
circle.
It's that quiet, I can even hear a clock ticking when Nick
plays
Barnes
it out
is
to the left to Hume.
I can hear still hear
Hume,
tick, tick,
Carlos
tick,
Corberán is going berserk down on the touchline. Ballard.
Mike Russell usual changes for West Brom, 16 minutes.
Wide then to Roberts.
SJ, 8 corners.
Good ball up over the top. Isidore trying to get round on the right with his right foot. And it's knocked behind off his shoulder by Holgate. It's another corner to Sunderland.
8 corners have done nothing
from them. 8th corner.
You've got to be a quality, you know, quality ball needs to come in.
Offside or a foul,
you wonder if that's going to be the way to get in to the game, a set piece. If they could get a goal from a set piece and just try and open things up a bit, force West Bromwich Albion to try and be a little bit more open, because they're just putting bodies behind the ball. As I said before in the first half, no great incentive for them when they go forwards. They don't seem to break their necks to do it. Roberts swings the ball in, and Ballard trying to go for it, and penalised, I think, for climbing over the defender. Bobby Madley having a word with him as he jogs past. So that's an 8th corner that comes to nothing for Sunderland, and it's still 0-0. We've played nearly 52 minutes.
Someone just shouted.
Alex Palmer retrieves the ball. A 28-year-old from Kidderminster.
Can you hear the clock as well ticking?
Playing in the sense as a loanee at Kidderminster Harriers from West Bromwich Albion, but he's been at West Bromwich Albion his whole career. 28 years old now. Floats the ball down the right wing, drops to Ballard, who tries to get it down the wing for Isidore, but it bounces out. It's a throw to West Brom. 15 yards from the corner on the right at the north end of the stadium. Holgate will take the throw. Mason Holgate, the 28-year-old Jamaican international. 3 caps. As Regis Lebris looks on with his hands in his pockets. As Ballard heads it on again. It's laid off to Holgate. Lifts it up over the halfway line. Magic just barges into the back of Mepham. The ball goes out for a throw to Sunderland, which Trey Hume comes back to take. And Carlos Corberán again, he's just pointing wildly, waving his left hand, clapping, trying to urge his players on. The throw down the left is headed out by Hegem. It's another throw to Sunderland on this left-hand side.
You pulled your watch pin.
Hume forwards again to take it. Job is close. Watson's down the line. Job trying to make some space. It goes back to Job. And Job steers it back to Ballard. And Ballard across then to Mepham in the centre circle. 54th minute. O'Nien calling for it, but it's gone wide to Roberts. He's taken on Dobbin. Cutting inside now, Patrick Roberts, into the middle of the West Bromwich Albion half. Then turning it out again wide to Luke O'Nien. Back to Roberts.
Yeah,
Roberts with O'Nien making a run down the right of the penalty area. Pulls it back sensibly to Rigg. It takes a deflection over Isidore. And Watson can't get on the end of it at the near post. And it's gone for a corner. Off the goalkeeper, scrambling to clear it.
Yeah, Watson couldn't get on the end of it.
Tried to throw himself at it, but
yeah,
Alex Palmer threw himself in front of. In fact, it came off the defender, didn't it? It was headed back.
When you look at it again, it could have been a foul on Watson, couldn't it? Really?
No, the goalkeeper goes crashing into him. Yeah, it came off Bellows the ball behind.
Mundell's injured.
You're right. I mean, it could have been deemed a foul, but Watson's going to take the corner by the looks of things. Roberts is down there with him on the left, and Watson plays it short to Roberts. Roberts back to Watson. Watson plays it to the back of the area, and it's dinked in by Chris Rigg, but straight into the hands of the goalkeeper, who's rolled it out immediately for Dobbin, and he's taking it on now up to the halfway line and playing it inside. In fact, it was Madger, I think, who took it all the way up there, and or Grant. Madger's in the middle now, and Dobbin's on the left, and it's cut out by Dan Neal. Goes back to Mowat.
Leaves up to 8 weeks. Thomas Mundell's out.
Styles made a burst down the left of the penalty area, but Dobbin plays it back to Mowat. Back again to Hegem, and across then to Holgate on the halfway line on the right hand side. Fellows is wide. It's gone back to Rasic, and now Hegem again forwards into the middle on the centre spot. Mowat to his right is Malumbi, down the line to Fellows. Watson trying to get the ball off him, but Fellows is cutting in field now into the middle, laying it off to Hegem. And Hegem looks up again. Mowat's just to the right of him in the middle of the Sunderland half. Short pass to Styles, Callum Styles, back to Mowat. Mowat in the middle now to Holgate, just inside the Sunderland half. Then down the right wing to Carlin Grant. Inside, Fellows again. Down this one, Malumbi down this right-hand side with Fellows. Fellows just inside of him, but he goes back to Holgate. Then Mowat back
the game,
to Rasic. They're getting a lot of possession.
You are right, Paul.
Sunderland now got everybody behind the ball, playing much like
you do a good
West
job,
Bromwich Albion were.
You are right, Paul.
I
think it's just a lot of frustration creeping in with fans.
Taking this on down the right of the penalty area. Hume makes a challenge, and West Bromwich Albion. Well, it's a goal kick.
Janty says up the Borough. They're having a good run of form, aren't they? No
Sunderland have had 9 corners, West Bromwich Albion have had none, which sort of tells you a story in itself about
money in January,
West Bromwich Albion's ambition.
I don't know.
Callum Styles makes a block.
It's not rocket science, is it, to really see that we're
on the right. 0-0 in the 57th minute of the game. We're live on BBC Radio Newcastle. We'll be on till 10:30 tonight, and O'Nien drives the ball back into his own penalty area. It's passed out by Patterson to Hume and back to Ballard, and Ballard bringing this out now on the left-hand side up towards the halfway line. Jobe picks it up, back to Ballard, forwards to Jobe again. Carlin Grant on his shoulder. He finds a gap through the middle now for Dan Neil. He plays it out to Patrick Roberts on the right wing. Styles in front of him. Roberts cutting inside now. Roberts still going across the middle on his left foot. Drives it straight against Mowat. Drops for Neil, trying to find O'Nien. It's
well,
I think
offside,
it's an own goal by Rasic.
Offside.
And the offside flag is up anyway. It's not going to count.
Yeah, offside.
It's not going to count. Isidore, I think we'll have to see the replay here. Did he get the final touch? Was it Isidore offside? Flag was up in the corner, right almost on the goal line. In fact, Isidore is offside as the ball marginally, he's on the 6-yard line pretty much, as O'Nien plays the ball in. I think it was Rasic who put the ball in, but Isidore was a fraction offside when the ball left O'Nien's foot, and it looked like it was Rasic's foot who put the ball in anyway. So the goal doesn't count. It's still 0-0, and the ball is back up the other end with Patterson. He lays it off now to
Janty and Craig. I've just kicked you off the chat.
Mepham is on the left
just
and Ballard's on the right now.
Honest to God.
And here's Ballard.
Go and play
rolling it down
with your
the right-hand side to Rigg,
channel.
back to
Honestly.
Ballard, and back to Patterson. And Patterson,
I don't mind people coming in,
closing down,
but they're just coming
swings
on
it out to the left wing over Watson's head,
and, just like
and it's a throw to West Bromwich Albion, halfway inside the Sunderland half on the right wing.
Leave us alone. Ta-ra. Bye. We're not going to miss you.
Hartlepool 1, AFC Fylde 0. Rasic across to Hegum. Hegum, it's a long ball forward which will sweep past Dobbin. O'Nien plays it back inside to Chris Mepham, who's back on the right again. And Mepham then forwards to Rigg. Rigg on halfway. On the right, into the centre circle to Jobe, holding off Grant. Then is too much to deal with Malumbi, but he gets the ball back. It's won back by Rigg, and Jobe went away down this left-hand side. Watson wide of him. Watson now, just on the corner, taps it back to Jobe. Jobe back inside to Dan Neil. Curls the ball into the penalty area, and Styles leaps all over O'Nien, but the ball goes behind for a goal kick. Norwich 4, Plymouth 1. Played nearly an hour here now at the Stadium of Light. It's 0-0 on BBC Radio Newcastle. Benno is more excited now by the prospect of the phone until 10:30 than he is by the game.
What are we going to talk about?
I'm not sure. What are you going to talk about?
What have you wrote down? What have you wrote down?
I've only written one thing down.
What's that?
No, I'll tell a lie. In my notebook, I've written down Bromma Poikana. The Swedish team
at all last year.
Hegum used to play for. In my match notebook, I've written one thing down, and that was Watson weaving in towards the end of the first half. And there's well, that's not a foul according to Bobby Madley on Dan Neil. The ball with Roberts on the far side.
It's like it's a
Roberts
friendly
inside
game.
again
Do you know
to
what I mean?
Chris Rigg.
There's no urgency
and,
anywhere.
Rigg looking for a way through, plays it to Ballard.
It's almost
through
like
again
they
to
want
Job.
to play for
Do you
it,
think
like.
the empty seats in the stadium tonight are because of people wiser than us that thought this is going to end 0-0 and it probably wasn't worth coming to watch?
Yes. I think we just need something magical from Roberts.
It needs something, man. It needs
Magical from
something.
Roberts.
There's Watson, the ball headed over him by Fellows for another corner. It probably does need something. It probably does need a bit of magic because West Bromwich Albion are stubborn. They're well organised. You know, I don't know if they've got ambitions to win this game. But they certainly are defending everything and getting everybody behind the ball at every opportunity. Watson plays the ball out to Mepham. Plays it in the middle now to Rigg. Is this the moment of magic on his right foot? No. Sails over the bar, but worth an effort. 22 yards out in the middle.
Changes, but who?
Still 0-0. And the goalkeeper waiting for a ball now. The ball has disappeared. There's another one lying on the pitch side here, but now a ball boy's found one and lobs it half-heartedly to Alex Palmer, and the other one comes back. Surprise, surprise. Palmer throws the one he's just been thrown away, and it bounces back on the pitch off the advertising board. And he drops the one he's just picked up. Now he's got to come back across and get rid of the other. Throws that one away, and he's going across the ball he's just thrown away beforehand. More entertainment in this than there is in the game. And so now he'll finally put the ball down on the 6-yard line. And all the players over on this near side. And Palmer puts his right foot through it over the halfway line. Madger and Mepham manhandling each other, but it comes through to Madger eventually, and he taps it back behind him to Malumbi, and then Mowat, Rasic, Hegum in the centre circle to Rasic again, Uros Rasic, and out to the right to Holgate. And Holgate gets it inside to Mowat, who plays it back to Alex Palmer, the goalkeeper. From one Alex to another.
If it stays
ice cold in Alex. It is, isn't it,
lost.
actually, tonight.
Tight. Go on,
and the ball comes down to Rasic again on the right side of the penalty area. Under pressure from
and that's
Job,
what
he puts the ball out.
That's pressure. That's what we need to do.
0-0 still.
Yeah.
63rd minute, all the way back to Mepham in the centre circle.
Mayenda's coming on.
Something a little bit different. Mayenda, and here's O'Nien. Crosses, and it comes through to Fellows, to knock down to Malumbi.
Nobody there.
Rigg was in front of him.
David Corner.
But now one back by O'Nien. Job on his left, over the bar. Goal kick. Is this the opportunity now to get Mayenda on? Oh, he's still getting ready down below us. Alex Palmer has to go and get the ball again. The ball boy picks up the ball behind the goal and then jogs away with it, runs off with it.
Gear.
But Alex Palmer's got another ball.
Don't have
the ball boy places the ball on a little cone.
Second gear, I don't know. Need a
gearbox
back
down against the advertising board, and Alex Palmer will take the goal kick for West Bromwich Albion.
Come on.
Up over the halfway line onto the head of Mepham. Roberts gets a push in the back from Styles. Free kick to Sunderland.
I like Watson's work rate tonight. He's trying.
25 minutes to go.
Don't have a problem with that.
0-0.
Wiz Norton says, "Stay away, Cabby. You never know where you could win
back
this."
To Mepham. Out to O'Nien. O'Nien back again. Well, he's overhit this. Well, he hasn't in the end because Mepham's run back for it. Madger gives chase. Mowat cuts it out. Back up to Madger. And out to the left-hand side then to Dobbin. Dobbin running at Luke O'Nien, edge of the penalty area, on the left-hand side, trying to find a way through 3 defenders, gets the ball into Malumbi just inside. Malumbi pushed out by Mepham. The ball played back to Holgate, down the right of the penalty area now, Fellows, back to Mason Holgate, and back to Rasic, just in front of the centre circle. Isidore chasing. The ball back though from Hegum to Rasic. Rasic now looking for Fellows on the right wing. Bounces away from Fellows, he keeps it in, but Hume gets in front of him and plays it back to Patterson, who with his right foot plays it straight out to Mowat. Watson beaten to it. Holgate to Malumbi, back to Holgate, then Mowat and back into Hegum in the centre circle. Forwards a few yards to Alex Mowat, and Mowat out to the right again to Holgate. Holgate back to Rasic on the halfway line, right to the centre circle, to the left of the centre circle, Hegham. Hegham back to the goalkeeper, and it's still 0-0. We're in the 66th minute. And now Norwich 5, Plymouth 1.
Norwich 5?
Holgate chesting it back to Malumbi, looking for Fellows. And down goes Dobbin down the right side of the penalty area. And the youngster,
we need some
21
subs.
years old,
we need some subs.
Trying to get into the penalty area, is beaten by Hume, who holds it away from Malumbi. Plays it inside to Job. Job across to O'Nien.
Double substitution.
And O'Nien, Elise is coming on as well. So I wonder what the plan is here, as Rigg in the middle has won it, and now plays it out to the left to Tommy Watson. Watson at the corner of the penalty area, looking for an opening, looking for Job, looking for Rigg. Job in the penalty area. Rasic brings the ball down for Mowat to hook clear, up to Madger, who heads it back down, and the foul, free kick to West Bromwich Albion.
You know, it's one of these.
So the
games,
change is going to be made now by Sunderland.
Score, you could see West Brom scoring a minute later. It's just that's just the type of game it's going to be, wouldn't it?
Oh, you can't believe it.
I'm a little bit perplexed myself, actually. Yeah.
You're shocked at that.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Elise is going to. Very interesting. So.
Yeah, Thomas
Watson
says
coming off
needs
then
to
for
be careful
Mayenda.
if it keeps going like this. You know what happened to Monday. This is like.
That's interesting. So Elise comes in left
Simon
back. Hume will go right back.
Isn't it? Rooney's sacked by the looks of
And
it.
Mayenda's playing on the left.
Burnley just scored again, so we're now third as the table stands.
Isidore's still through the middle.
You're not going to progress up the table
Are they
with
going
draw.
No, Mayenda's playing there. Rigg is the one who's
I think
just playing.
Rigg's gone off alongside Isidore, hasn't he? And I think as he tries to chase down the goalkeeper,
it's the only bit of excitement the Sunderland fans have had.
I've got a feeling that
Standing
Regis
up
has gone 4-4-2 here.
As he comes off.
And the
Watson.
ball bounces on the halfway line. It's rolled back through past Rasic. Just a bit to try something different.
Where's Plymouth in the league anyway? Are they third off?
Goalkeeper Palmer passes it out to Holgate on the right, up to the halfway line, bounces over Carl and Grant for Ballard to play to
Somebody
Mepham.
save me, says Colin. Every other team scoring loads of goals, says
on the right wing.
I know.
Hull 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. These, of course, 7:45 kickoffs.
Isidore, he's just.
Burnley 2, Coventry 0. Sheffield United beating Oxford 3-0 as well. So ideally, Sunderland would like to win this game, with both the teams around them winning. Here's Elise, pulls the ball back, looking for Mayenda. It bounced off him. Holgate's got the ball in front of him, and now Mayenda's won it back. Pulls it back here for Rigg. Takes a deflection, which takes it away from the goal. Rigg was perfectly placed in the middle of the penalty area, but it took a deflection as he tried to get it forwards and it span away from the goal. Palmer was left a little bit wrong-footed and in no man's land, but Mayenda, to his credit, got the ball off Holgate, pulled it back for Rigg, who ran onto it, but players got in the way. Still 0-0. Hume pulls it back. Roberts inside, then Neal now to Mepham. Mepham to Ballard on the halfway line on the left-hand side. Plays it to Job. Madger's on his shoulder, pushes him in the back. Neal tried to slip it through for Isidore, but just cut out by Rasic. Now Grant again to Rasic. And Rasic inside to Mowat. And then behind him is Hegham. Forwards again to Dobbin, who's just caught by Hume, who said he was trying to play the ball. And a free kick to West Bromwich Albion. 20 minutes or so left to play.
3 points for a win.
0-0. Is anything going to give in this game?
John Dew says might take up knitting soon. Stuart
surely we can't be looking at another
Christmas.
draw. 0-0 for West Bromwich Albion. 5 in 9. That's extraordinary. And of course, as you say, for Sunderland, it would be 3 0-0s in 5 if it ends thus. Ballard to Mepham.
If it finishes 0-0, what are you guys going to say? What are you guys and girls going to say?
Mepham out wide to Hume.
We're playing it safe.
Hume
It's another point.
Looking for Isidore, but the goalkeeper will get that. Catches it.
When's the next win
rolls it out
from?
very quickly to Malumbi through the middle.
I can't see you're going to be coming on Friday, can you?
Jason Malumbi, former Brighton midfielder, Republic of Ireland international, 29 caps, comes back to Palmer. He kicks up to the halfway line. Ballard is there again to head it forwards. Rasic drives it forwards to the halfway line. Maja just poised and posed just to push the ball through to Grant. Foot off Ballard. And finally, West Bromwich Albion win a corner in the game.
You're not going to hang on to top 2 spots, are you? We're drawing 5
Down
games.
on the right,
sorry, like.
southwest corner, Roker end. Grant is going to leave the corner kick, I think, for Mowat.
We've been third since the game started, just about. SGI, yeah, we'll have Mike.
0-0.
Especially
Styles and Dobbin back
Cooper,
out in midfield. A short corner to Fellows from Mowat. He takes it down the right of the penalty area, tries to cross, just a touch off Roberts for another corner. A second consecutive West Bromwich Albion corner. And Mowat strolls back down to take it.
Concentrate here.
I can still hear that ticking in the background.
2 centre backs are up.
Yeah. And
tick, 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 tick.
Oh, switched off.
Holgate's leaning into the defender on the line. The ball played back to Grant, swept into the penalty area, and Hume out on the right hand side.
Great ball.
And plays it on then to Job wide on the right. Job battling with Dobbin, comes back into his own half, leaves it for Mepham. Mepham through the centre circle, playing it out to the left to Elise, and Elise forwards to Mienda. Mienda
totally
back into his own half to Ballard. The 73rd minute now.
I mean, there isn't just
across
Sheffield United and Burnley and
Mepham
Leeds.
again.
You've got your Middlesbroughs and your
Driving it
Millwalls
through
that
the
are
middle.
really on form.
Joe touches it off. Isidore touches off the rig. Now out on the right to Hume. Pulls it back in here, and it's stabbed just past the foot of the post by Rig. Just tried to guide it into the corner, and it rolls just past the foot of the left post.
Maddy says, "Come on,
Roberts, wasn't it?
Welcome."
Was it Roberts? Sorry, Roberts.
I think it was.
I see the replay. It was played out wide to Hume, who pulled it back, and yeah, it was Roberts who just got it. Rig was just behind
Agonising.
it. Very, very close. Roberts just got the little touch through the legs of Hegem, and it looked like he was trying to steer it to the bottom corner, but it rolled an inch, 2 inches past the foot of the right post. I thought it was Rig, because Rig was right directly in that line. But we've got the replay here, and now the referee, what's he worrying about now? He's having a word with Holgate and Job.
It's not 1-0, so you can post as much as you want.
On
it's not 1-0.
4 yellows, so hopefully it's just a warning. No further action will be taken. Elise's waiting to take the
I don't know why people
throw in
full scores in the
just
chat,
down from Carlos Corberan here.
It's
down to Isidore, who heads it into Mienda, who's again stretched, but Rasic got the ball away, only to Elise, and now to Job, and Job plays it back behind him. Ballard in his own half. Ballard to Dan Neil in the centre circle. Neil to Mepham, 74th minute. Mepham out wide. Hume inside, and Rig and Roberts, little triangle. Then down the right of the penalty area. Hume can't get on the end of it, but he wins a corner.
This is
forcing
weird.
the defender put it behind.
This is odd.
An 11th Sunderland corner.
Come on, quality balling.
At full time, you're going to go, what was that?
It's one quality
from the right with the corner kick.
I don't even know how to do a match review.
Dan Neil stays back up in midfield. Mienda's out wide on the right. That's Roberts. It hangs in the air. Job's got an eye on it. Mepham's got his eye on it, and it's just over the head of Isidore
Neil
as he leapt at the right post to try and get his head on the end of it.
From his sources, he's leaving.
It's another goal kick to West Bromwich Albion. Roughly 15 minutes to play. Is there something for
plenty of time? They'll get a couple of opportunities, Nick.
Chances.
Yeah, they will get a couple of chances. That's for sure.
Aye, West Brom good and all, Gary.
I wonder if they'll bring Connolly on or do something.
Hello to
just
the 303 watching.
Do a Millwall and throw all the forwards on.
Mike says, haha, let's see. West Bromwich Albion, 90 minutes plus.
Here's Hegem. Leaves it for Styles just behind him, pushes it up to Dobbin
Wouldn't be
on the
surprised
halfway
if we were
line,
being letting
and
goals in the
he
last few
plays
minutes
it
of the
here
game
now
either.
along the halfway line to Malumbi. He plays it behind him, a couple of yards to Holgate, back to Malumbi, and then back again to Rasic in the middle. And Rasic in the centre circle. It just rolls past Mowat. It gets it eventually out to Fellows. Hartlepool lead filed 2-0. Mowat back onto the halfway line, and Hegem down the left to Styles.
Not much later from Hendo
Styles
yet,
halfway
James.
side to Sunderland half.
I hope he does
to
come.
Grant. Grant trying to get away down the left.
Hey,
And the
Thomas
ball
only takes
punched
one
out by
shot,
the
mate,
right
to
foot
go
of
in goal.
Roberts for a throw to West Bromwich Albion.
Going to make another substitution, Nick.
So,
Devante Cole's coming on.
Can anybody else hear
forward.
that ticking noise?
He was
I've-
once
I've-
upon a
I've got
time at
bug in my
Manchester
ear.
City
He was.
as a youngster.
Andrew Cole's son.
Yes. It's been around the block. Bradford, Fleetwood, Wigan,
Barnsley.
Doncaster, Motherwell, Barnsley, which is
The
where
crowd's
he's
quiet, says
been
Simon.
signed from
It
this
is.
summer.
Jonathan says, Neil
Styles is going to take this throw.
Him. He's lost interest
Drops
ages
to
ago.
Dobbin, back to
Same
Styles,
agent as Clark
down
now
the
believes the hype
touchline.
is spewed to him.
Back into the middle. Mowat onto the halfway line. Holgate back to Hegem. Hegem just behind the centre circle. He's tried to play the long ball down the left wing for Dobbin, but it'll accelerate away from him and go behind for a Sunderland goal kick.
Listen how quiet it is.
0-0 still here at the Stadium of Light.
Ruben, the ticking noise is coming from the alarm clock that's been set up to go
And
off at full
kick
time to wake everybody
from
up.
Sunderland
It
from Patterson
certainly
right
is.
up through the middle
Look,
to
everybody
Rigg.
get up to do the
Rigg
paper
now out
rounds
to
in
the
the
left to
morning for
Mayenda.
£2.
Mayenda.
Come
He's
on,
going to
son,
cut it
says
inside
Samuel.
now and try and get the ball in behind him to Job. We'll have to work. Oh, he's tripped by Malumbi. Play on, says the referee. Mayenda out to Elise. Job still nursing his ankle. Elise on the left plays it back now to Ballard. Job gets up. The advantage came to nothing effectively. Mepham out wide to Roberts. Roberts, he's got Rigg down the right of the penalty area. Roberts not sure which way to go past Callum Styles, but finally plays it to the right
I
to
can
Rigg.
hear it, but I have a
Rigg
bug in my ear.
on that far
It's a
side
20th
plays it back
century
inside to
game.
Mepham, and Mepham now leaves it for Ballard. Ballard trying to get it through to Job at the edge of the area. It's cleared. Mowat puts his foot through it up over the halfway line. Mepham, oh, it bounces awkwardly off the floor and catches him in the face, but he still gets it to Ballard. Awkward one for him to deal with. Ballard gets it out then to Mayenda.
You can hear the ticking
Mayenda
noise
has
as
Elise
well,
behind him. Mayenda still cutting inside, leaves it now for Job. Job looks for Rigg. It's cut out at the edge of the area, out to Madger, and now with Mowat again. Ballard whips in and tried to send it goalwards, but it's a little bit off to the left, slightly out of kilter, and it goes for a goal kick.
Change the substitute.
Now they change the substitute. John Swift is going to come on for Madger.
It was our owners at the time that screwed things up not to sign him.
So, boos for Madger as his name is announced, the player being replaced. It's not been his afternoon, evening, Josh Madger, coming off in the 79th minute, replaced by the former Chelsea and Reading midfielder.
Full time.
Sheffield United have won 3-0, so they will go top of the table tonight. 2 points clear of Sunderland if it stays 0-0, which just makes Friday night's game even bigger, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
How can you
Just
see
need
some?
something
How
different,
can you
Nick,
see the
to
Sheffield
break 'em down.
United
Yeah.
game going?
You know,
They've got 10 minutes to find it. As
Thanks,
the
Mike
kick
Russell,
from
mate.
Palmer,
Thank you very much indeed.
deep one, but it's turned away from Dobbin by Mepham, out to Mayenda on the left wing, cuts inside, he's nearly got tackled by Swift, but he's done well, found Mepham, now Hume on the right, and Hume will play it to Roberts. Roberts on the right wing, looking for Hume. He didn't quite anticipate what Roberts was going to do
We
then.
play them on Friday. It would be nice
West
to
Bromwich
be
Albion
on
have won the
points.
ball back. Here's Mowat. He's tackled though by Rigg. Rigg plays it into the middle to Job. Job's immediately closed down, and he's fouled Swift.
How many times do you think Gary Bennett's
So it's a
gone?
free kick to West Bromwich Albion in the middle,
You think it's past
just
100?
outside the deep. 0-0. BBC Radio Newcastle. Benno on with Pridey till 10:30 tonight.
Where do we see Connolly come on? We need something different, don't we?
Something different, yeah. 36,733 tonight.
There's not even any applause.
The attendance.
It's usually the applaud, the attendance, but there's just nothing.
On the far side,
Heggum
you're
off.
brings the ball down, plays it behind to Rasic. Rasic inside to Malumbi.
Imagine if we wake up in the morning and we won 4-0 at full time.
To Swift, John Swift. In the centre
Rooster
circle.
Coburn says should be putting
At what
two up
point
front.
do West Bromwich Albion decide a point in a 0-0 is a good point?
Same old. Says Paul Bowman. Says
decided that at 8 o'clock.
Sheffield United got destroyed in the Premier League. They did. Should be beating these kind of clubs. West Brom decided a point would be.
Well, they are certainly stubborn. They have certainly frustrated Sunderland.
West Brom haven't
we
done.
We were warned that that's what they would
do.
do.
Attacking wise.
Heggum.
Nothing.
Dobbin. Styles inside of him. Swift's there as well. Swift trying to get to the ball, beaten to it by Rigg, who finds Roberts. Roberts. Styles is all over him, but he's got the ball out to Hume on the right touchline, and inside to Rigg again, but still inside the Sunderland half.
The only good thing,
and again, West Bromwich Albion getting everybody back with a ball played down the right wing to Hume. Hume on the touchline plays it back to Roberts. Roberts now with Rigg in the centre. Rigg, he's got Job there as well. And he taps the ball to Job in the middle, and Job will play it out wide to Elise. And Elise back to Job. Job, now behind him is Dan Neal. Neal to Mepham, wide then to Hume. Roberts is making a run down the right of the penalty area. Hume taking Styles on, twisting,
Paul,
and then going down.
This is why we need
the ball rolling out for a West Bromwich Albion throw.
We need strength and depth because every single time we get into
picks himself up on the far side
collapse, like take the brick
and will
away
take
from
the throw for West Bromwich Albion.
It's not 1-0, Daniel.
Their away record is actually very, very good. They've won 4, drawn 3, and lost just the 1 away from home this season. West Bromwich Albion.
Colin Bell, you'll get the happy clappers that'll say 5 draws we've not lost.
Came early in the season at Sheffield Wednesday.
You'll still get the happy clappers say, no, we've
Ballard
been unbeaten now for how many
in the
games?
West Bromwich Albion half, just front forwards of the centre circle to Elise. Elise down to Mienda. And Mienda now back into the middle, cut out by Carlin Grant. And Grant, he's got Swift on the run and Dobbin, but he's tackled by Neal. The ball comes back for Heggum, who drives it up to the halfway line, and Dobbin's found Swift. Swift now with the overlap coming from Fellows into the penalty area. Fellows squaring this ball for Dobbin. It's cleared on the line by Ballard.
Well done.
It was heading for the bottom corner, and Ballard managed to block it. There was a narrow escape then for Sunderland. As the ball played on now to Roberts, who's caught by Styles. The ball goes out. It's a Sunderland throw.
It's absolutely. It's awful, isn't it?
So lucky Sunderland then, but well done Dan Ballard for being back.
Yeah, excellent covering.
To cover.
This is mid-table form.
So
I'm
it
sorry,
is still
if anybody Sunderland fans think that I'm wrong for saying
ball
this.
Here on the left with
form,
Elise.
God,
Neal inside again to Mepham. Mepham out wide to Hume. Hume crossing. Isidore beaten by Rasic. Comes down to Rigg. He's trying to tee up a shot. In the end, he passes to Mienda. Mienda's blocked by Fellows. His cross.
It's right, Hall.
Comes back to Mienda on the left-hand side. And Mienda now looking
about reality,
to try and get past Fellows. Has to come back and plays it into the middle. Hume is in the centre. Short to Neal. Neal behind him is Ballard. And Ballard now to Neal again. Neal through, harsh ball played on to Elise, but he kept it in, he kept control of it. Neal down the left of the penalty area, a block by Swift. It drops to be cleared by West Brom up to the halfway line. Ballard comes back with Dobbin on his shoulder and plays it on Grant on his shoulder back to Patterson.
Goal for SFC tonight, 20th century
Mepham comes out with it. Mepham now swinging it over to the left to Mienda. Mienda brings it down on the touchline, is taking on Fellows, who gets in front of him, and it comes off for the corner.
We've got a corner.
12th Sunderland corner. We're in the 85th minute.
West Brom.
Is this going to be a late show for Sunderland?
Quality ball, that's all you're asking for. A quality delivery.
Roberts down to take the corner on the left. Mienda's down here as well on the left-hand side.
Let the likes of Ballard or Mepham go and attack the ball. Put it in the box, man.
Mepham's up. He's just run up to the edge of the penalty area. And Roberts curls this in towards the penalty spot, and Ballard trying to get his head on it. Isidore trying to turn it into the 6-yard box. Rasic gets it clear. Up to Dan Neil, who heads it on here, looking for Mayenda.
Sunderland's excuse cut out is going to be literally
by Dobbin. Rigg tackles him. Rigg has it in the middle. Finds Job, and Job now plays it back to Rigg. Rigg needs some help here somewhere. It's all a bit square. Goes to Elise on the left-hand side. Back to Neil. Neil forwards to Job. Back to Neil.
If you have players missing, you've got to have a good enough second-string squad to keep.
He's got Hume wide. Hume here on the right touchline, cutting back inside. Styles on his shoulder. Rigg again now runs into Malumbi, and Mowat pushes the ball out to Grant. Grant trying to get it away from Hume. He's gone away from Hume. Plays it through, surely, but offside. Flag's going to come up. He knows it. Swift knows it. Flag eventually comes up when Patterson picks the ball up. Throws it to Job,
Jesus Christ,
Job to Mepham. 87th minute, 0-0. Hume just inside the West Bromwich Albion half, wide to Roberts. Roberts Styles ahead of him. Roberts taking him on, cutting inside, rolling it to Rigg. Rigg back out to the right-hand side, and the cross from Neil takes a deflection for another corner.
Computer needs charged.
13th Sunderland corner. Gateshead have lost 1-0 to Rochdale. Nearly into the 88th minute here.
I think we all need charged.
87 minutes just about up. Roberts on the right-hand side. Meander's over there, of course.
Ryan Jones, I listen to you every
Ballard's
game.
Up.
A comment
Dan Neil strolls into the
game
penalty area. They're leaving 2 out. And it's swept in by Roberts. Looking for Ballard, who heads it to the goalkeeper. Straight at him.
Set plays have been poor, Nick.
They haven't been
very poor.
They've not caused West Bromwich Albion any real problems, have they?
And we've had plenty of set plays.
Oh, well, 13 corners and a couple of free kicks, weren't there, as well?
Nothing out of him.
No.
Not been a threat.
Mowat to Hegem.
City 3-0 up.
Hegem to
Watson,
Mowat.
I thought did all right.
Back to Rasic. Rasic then to Holgate. Holgate.
My God, I've shown you
to Malumbi, back to Holgate, down the line to Fellows. Fellows gets away from Joe, back to Rasic, now to Swift, and John Swift pokes it through to Grant, looking for Malumbi, but it's Malumbi's just given up the chase.
What do you think fans will defend
Sunderland is going to bring this away now for Sunderland. We played 88 minutes. It's Sunderland 0, West Bromwich Albion 0.
We've got injuries.
And now with Elise
still in the chase.
Just in the half, down the line to Mayenda in the West Bromwich half, and Mayenda leaves it for Aji Elise, and he plays it back now to Ballard, just to the left of the centre circle. Mepham just forward of him on the right, and Mepham down the right wing to Patrick Roberts. Roberts, he's got Hume just making a run down the right. Roberts cuts in, and Roberts now taps it to Dan Neil, who lobs one into the penalty area. Roberts trying to get on the end of it, goes behind for a goal kick. I used to love
the Commodore 64.
In the 89th minute. Now Cole is going to come on by the looks of things.
Oh my God.
Devante Cole.
Questions are going to be asked, Nick, you know. Fatigue, do you think it's played a part?
It's been mentioned.
Fatigue? Well, what about the top two teams?
It's Grant who's coming off.
I'm not having any excuses at all.
I mean, they've not shown a huge amount of ambition getting forward, West Brom. I don't quite understand why they're bringing on another forward now, and in a bid.
Fatigue, the athletes.
I can only think to just waste time here, and they're happy with a point, West Brom.
Fatigue.
Frustrated Sunderland.
Yeah, frustrated Sunderland.
No, Sunderland have frustrated themselves.
Goal kick for West Bromwich Albion.
And still the clock ticks.
They've swapped it about, haven't they? They've put Isidore on this left-hand side.
Yeah, Isidore's. There's a free kick to West Brom
we
now.
We knew straight away how boring match it was going to be by them
down the right side of midfield in the Sunderland half. You're right. I just went looking at that formation. Isidore has come wide. Mayenda's gone through the middle just to try yet again something different. Free kick about 15 yards inside the Sunderland half.
Will see, though, we've not
We're
been beaten
into
yet.
Added time now, which will be 3 minutes.
You've got to defend this because they've set the two big lads up, Nick.
Well, they've held the line, defensive line, about 25 yards out. It floats up into the penalty area.
Ryan,
and Hume will take this down, but the flag is out for offside.
On the
So it's a free kick to Sunderland, who've got 2.5 minutes
goal,
to try and engineer a winner here. 0-0. Hume into the middle. Dan Neal just outside his own D. He looks to play it now short to his right to Mepham up over the halfway line wide again, and Hume clipping it down the right of the penalty area, looking for Rigg, but Hegan's got in front of him and puts the ball out. It's a throw for Sunderland on the right.
Hey, well, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Drops to Patrick Roberts, halfway inside the West Bromwich Albion half. We played a minute of the 3.
My webcam a bit
Here's Ballard. Ballard out to the left now to Isidore. Isidore wide. Alice's wider of him as he comes inside Isidore and forced to come back to Ballard. Ballard now to Mepham.
What we are being
and
smoking.
Trying to find a gap, but it runs past both Hume and Rigg and rolls out behind for a goal kick. Alex Palmer jogging back to retrieve the ball. A minute and a half left of the 3 minutes being added on as a minimum. Referee Bobby Madley trying to encourage Alex Palmer to get on with things. No bookings in the game, which is in a way is a statement as well.
Cheers, Bong.
It's been that sort of game.
Nice,
yeah. As Palmer with the kick drives this up over the halfway line. Cole goes for it, beaten by Ballard. It drops for Hume. Now Roberts. Roberts with Styles in front of him. Roberts still going. He's got Hume ahead of him. Roberts just trying to get through, and he's upended when the referee says no foul. Roberts on his back. West Bromwich Albion look to break away on this left-hand side. It's pushed on to Malumbi. Cole is going to chase this down the left-hand side, and Cole, between the touchline and the penalty area, pulls the ball back to Callum Styles. Roberts is back up, chasing back to defend, and the ball out on the left.
I don't even know
and he tries to make a block as the ball is played inside to Mowat. Mowat now back to Malumbi and back again to Rasic. And we played, well, just about the 3 minutes. We've got about 25 seconds left. And it's 0-0 as West Bromwich Albion, Hagan out to Styles on the far side. He drives the ball into the penalty area. Ballard whips it out, and it comes down off Hagan. Styles tries to get on the end of it. I think he caught Rigg, but the ball breaks for Roberts on the touchline, and Roberts now wins. Gives away a throw to West Bromwich Albion, and that is the 3 minutes. How much more is Bobby Madley going to add on to a game which everybody at the start said would end 0-0? None. That is it. It's finished. 0-0, as widely predicted, going by the records of the two sides over the last few weeks. Not for want of trying in many respects for Sunderland, but West Bromwich Albion set up in such a way that they just thwarted Sunderland at every opportunity.
They've come here for the draw. I think the question is going to be asked now, are we in a rut in regards of drawing games? That's the 5th one.
Are we in a rut?
A third 0-0 as well.
And you're looking at that one and you're just thinking, what was we lacking a little bit of intensity, pace and creativity? And without the likes of Mundle on this left-hand side,
you're welcome, Paul.
It just wasn't going to happen, was it?
You're welcome,
no,
James.
And I wonder that. Do you think is it as simple as that? Missing someone like Mundle?
Not just Mundle. I just think you look at the lads there, and you're just thinking they looked a little bit tired. You know, we know we had a game on Saturday against Milwall, game tonight, then we've got to pick ourselves up again for the game against Sheffield United on Friday. They've got a spring in the step because...
Well, I've had enough of listening to that, but thanks everybody for tuning in. Sorry it's been an omnibus edition of Emmerdale. Oh, God's sake. I don't even know how to do a review for that. I just don't know where to start. I just don't know where to start on that. I can't report on anything. Good to see you, MACKEM. See you later, Mike. Cheers for popping in, mate. You're welcome, Brian. You're welcome, Gary. Thanks, anyone, people. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream now. I'll say thank you for everybody tuning in. Buff Egan, that's a big 2 points dropped. Yeah, West Brom were very poor tonight. I can't even describe what West Brom were actually up to. I don't think they came out the half, did they? Go ahead and say it. We won't beat Sheffield United, so we can kiss top 2 goodbye. It's looking that way. Anyway, I will say good night to every one of you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and the new subscribers. We'll catch you later. Toodaloo.